Okay, that's not what it's supposed to capture. OBS, you okay there, buddy? You drunk a little bit, OBS? There we go. All right. Well, at least we knew the ads were done. But hello, everyone, and welcome back. Let me get some music going for us. Oh, I see we got Red on our shoulder this time today. Nice, nice. But let me get some music going for us. There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we're not playing a game today. No. Today's a little something different. Also, first off, let me say, Abaddon, congratulations on getting that first. And Osamu, it's good to see you as well. Hope everyone who's here is having a great day so far. I know I've been having a good day. I've been relaxing, just taking it easy. I actually just got done hanging out over watching a bit of Tim's stream because, you know, she was streaming and I figured, it'd be fun to go check out what she's doing, you know? But today, we are celebrating the fact that I have cleared 100 games on stream since switching over to VTubing. That's right, we got 100 games clear. And today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be tier listing all of them based on my experience with them as well as how I thought of them as games themselves. As such, today is going to be a bit different of a stream. And we won't be going in order of the games that I've played, you know, because right now we got it to where one of my good pals put this together. Their other username is linked to this tier maker, so I don't want to say their name because I don't want to accidentally dox them. But know that to the person who made this tier list, I appreciate you and thank you very much. Without you doing this, this would not be possible. But yes, today we are going to be ranking every game, and it's not going to be just every game I've completed that we're ranking. No. That'd be too easy. 100? Nah, we're going to do more than 100. That's right. We're going to do the games I've completed, the games that are on hiatus, the games I had to drop, be it fortunately or unfortunately, and the games that are currently ongoing and repeatable. Now, why do I not count those towards the 100 completed? Because they didn't have a definite end. That said, there's still games we've played on this channel, so I want to include them. But yes, let me go ahead and catch my chat real quick. And thank you, Osamu. I appreciate the congrats on 100 games. Am I ready to put Locke in a jar? He's still in the jar. I never let him out. Oh my god, I didn't put air holes in the jar. He'll be fine, right? He's a dragon. He can breathe fire. Put some holes in the jar for him, right? Just so he can breathe. Yeah, he'll be fine. Anyhow. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and do something a little different today. We're going to do this tier list, and we're going to start off with, you know, the way things are. First game on the list, my friends. Oh, ready to be put in Locke's jar? Oh, no. Locke doesn't have a jar big enough to contain me. Besides, even if he did, the glass would be so big that, you know, probably be able to shatter it pretty easily. Because in order to be a jar, it has to be a certain thinness, and once it's that tall, it's just going to shatter with a single punch. Anyhow, first game on the list, a game that I unfortunately had to stop playing on stream because I was hemorrhaging viewers and followers. People just were dropping me because of controversy around it. Hogwarts Legacy. I'm going to tell you now, this game, the time I had with it, and how well it was made, it belongs in the amazing category. It's a great time. I mean, it's not just a great time, it's an amazing time. I had a lot of fun playing it, from the way that the combat worked, where you could fluidly cast spells together. The world was small yet open enough to where you could go ahead and explore things at your own behest and just have fun with it. You don't have to follow the story that much if you don't want to. It helps because you get more spells that way. But you could just explore and enjoy being a wizard in the world. It was a good time, and for someone who grew up watching the Harry Potter films, it was a nice revisit to childhood memories that were very fond and near dear to my heart. So it was an amazing time for someone like me. That said, I'm going to move on to the next game before I start getting into controversy territory, because we know people seeing that on my list there is going to make them very upset. But you know what? It's my list, and they're allowed to be wrong. But yes, next on the list is Pokemon Violet. Those of you who know that I dropped this game because people would not stop backseating. They just won't stop it. I asked, told them not to backseat. You know, I even said, okay, I'm not doing EV training. I don't care. I'm playing casually. And they kept pushing. And it got annoying to where it's thinking of, okay, I'm not playing this on stream. And I was already having issues with it being really buggy, really glitchy already when I was playing it on stream. I like the base idea, but the game itself was, it wasn't the greatest. And the more I played of it off camera in my free time after dropping the stream series, the more I realized I don't really like Pokemon Scarlet or Violet. The intro takes way too long, it takes too much time, 3 hours just to get through it and all the dialogue before you can start even going and catching Pokemon. And honestly, if I'm going to play a Pokemon game that has a story to it that's deep, I'm going to go back to Pokemon Black and White. The story is quick, you can get into it and start having fun without having to waste an hour. You're into it in about 20 minutes. So yeah, Pokemon Scarlet Violet, I'm putting it in the meh category. Just did not jive with me. Did not jive with me. It's not the worst Pokemon game I played, but it's pretty bad. Next up, one that I dropped, the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. I love the combat. I love the deck building gameplay of it. I enjoy going around. I love the designs. However, my nostalgia goggles were taken off while I was playing this, and the story's writing sort of subpar, and it got to the point where I really didn't want to finish playing it on stream because I just wasn't enjoying myself. And for a JRPG, you know, a role-playing game, story is sort of the most important thing. I love the gameplay, and that's why I will still play the versus mode on it whenever I can. You know, I love that element of it. But all in all, the game, it's not bad. It's just okay. Next one, SD Gundam Battle Alliance. This game is a good time. I actually didn't want to drop it. I didn't want to drop the streams of it. It's just that people weren't really watching because, well, it's very grind heavy, like every other SD Gundam game out there, let me tell you. The game itself, though, really fun. It's a nice, simple action game. It's not a hack and slash like some people think it is. No. You gotta actually pay attention to what you're doing. It's more like a old school beat 'em up, but with mobile suits in a 3D environment. It's a good time. It's a good time. I won't say that it's amazing, but it's not just okay either. It belongs firmly in the great category. It has a good amount of mobile suits to choose from almost every series out there. It was a fun time. It was a really fun time. I just wish I could have played that more on stream and that people would have been more interested in it. But alas, it's not in the cards. Speaking of the cards, congratulations on getting on some of those cards that you needed to have it on. Next up, this one I played a long time ago. This is at least 2 years ago now. New Pokemon Snap. When you get into the gameplay of it, gameplay is good. Gameplay is good. New Pokemon Snap is exactly what I wanted. But when you get to the point of how long it takes to get to the gameplay, it's not so great anymore. Long story short, this is a nice chill game where you want to relax and just have fun, but I recommend not playing a game like this on stream, not because it's bad for streaming, but it's more of, for a Pokemon Snap game, they added way too much dialogue. I don't need some deep story about, ooh, we need to go explore these Pokemon and discover the mysteries about this, that, or the other by taking pictures. No. I don't care about that when it's Pokemon Snap. Just say, hey, we found a place where some Pokemon are growing. Some neat things are happening there. Here's the camera. Go take some photos. Let me at it. Don't hold me hostage in a dialogue-heavy cutscene for over an hour before I can actually start taking photos. But as such, the gameplay, though, gameplay was good. It goes in the okay category. Gameplay is good. It goes in the okay category. Just cut down the dialogue heaviness of a game like Pokemon Snap. It doesn't need it. It really doesn't need it. And I say that as someone who actually enjoys the game. Next up, Solasta, Crown of the Magister. Some may be wondering, Rabbit, why did you never finish this game? Because of two reasons. One, on my solo playthrough, the game updated while it was in early access and made it to where my old save file was wiped. And with how far in I was, I felt a little disheartened by that. But you know, that's the thing with early access. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. It is what it is. Full release, the save file is no longer wiped, but it was getting the times on the collabs to work properly to where I could actually join in easily that made it harder to continue. That said, Solasta: Crown of the Master itself as a game, really good, absolutely amazing. Anyone who loves D&D 5th edition, you will love Solasta: Crown of the Master. In fact, I love the game Solasta: Crown of the Magister. It follows the rulebook to a T. It's a good time, a lot of fun to be had. The writing is nice in it, you know? Honestly, it goes in the great category. It's a great game. Great time, great game, just a lot of fun. However, just like D&D, it's hard to get a time schedule to have everybody join up for it. But it is what it is. Alright, next up, my friends, is Necropolis, specifically my solo playthrough of it. Now, we get pretty far in the solo playthrough of it, but the game Necropolis, for those of you who don't know, it's an indie Souls-like roguelike. That's right, a Souls-like roguelike, and it's actually a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Only reason I really dropped it is because I didn't know what else commentary to give in it, and it really feels more like an adventure that I'd have a better time with by having people join me in co-op, as it is a co-op game. So I want to try to schedule some sort of collab in this game with some people, possibly an AG or out of G. AG or out of G. You know, that's the new company, out of G. That's the new time slot for it. But no. I want to try to get some people to join on this because it's drop in, drop out multiplayer, and whoever joins in, they get just come in, have fun. It's got a great sense of humor. The game is an overall good time. It's a little overpriced, so I always recommend waiting for a sale because not many people play it. But all in all, it's a great game. I'd highly recommend it. I'd say it goes right in the great category. But is it better than Solasta? Nah, not quite. Speaking of which, I'm going to move Mega Man Battle Legacy Collection down here. Hey, Alex, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Good to see you. I am doing great. Just ranking all the games I've played during my VTubing career in this tier list. Hope you are doing well today. But yes. Oh, I just realized I can't see something. I need to see something. Hold up. Where? There it is. Okay. There we go. All right. But yeah, right now we're actually on to the next game that I'm gonna be putting in tier. Splatoon 3. I love this game. This game is amazing. It goes right up there. Why'd I never finish it on stream? People only want to watch the multiplayer. I was enjoying the story. And, you know, maybe one day I'll stream it again, but for right now, it's more of an off-time me game. And again, the person who gifted me that game, Gwen, I really want to give her a thank you again because it's not often that I get gifted games. Normally, I'm the one gifting games to have people join me, so to have it the other way around was a nice change of pace. And, you know, I will always be grateful to Gwen, not just for that, but for a lot of things. But yeah, I don't want to get sappy here right now. I'm just going to say that I look forward to playing it again with people off camera or on camera if I do some collabs in it. But yeah, maybe one day we'll revisit and do more of the story. Alright, next up, Battle Operation Code Fairy, the story experience for Gundam Battle Operation 2. It's a good game. I want to say it's the best game, so it doesn't go up in amazing, but it's great. It is absolutely great. In fact, I'd say it goes above Solasta. It controls like Gundam Battle Operation 2, but it's a full-on solo offline campaign that you can play, and it's just an overall good time. The characters are enjoyable, plot's a little easy to predict if you've seen Gundam franchises before, specifically in Universal Century, but it's interesting having a game where you're playing from the Zeon side, but not as a force that's trying to destroy people, but rather as just the soldiers who are trying to survive and, you know, secure a foothold. They don't really care about taking over, they just want their independence. It was a neat point of view that you don't get to see too often in the Universal Century. And yeah, Alex, I do wonder if it'll come to PC eventually as well. Probably will. But it's a good time. Highly recommended if you have a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. Ooh, another one. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Is it Arceus or Arceus? I think it's Arceus. But yes, this game, I'm going to tell you now, out of all the Pokemon games I've played, there are two Pokemon games that I found to be absolutely astounding. Soul Silver Heart Gold and Legends Arceus. Soul Silver Heart Gold is by far my favorite because not only does it have two regions in it with, Kanto and Johto, but it's refined with the Gen 5 mechanics and it just increased the experience of the original Gen 2 games. It was perfect. So Heart Gold Soul Silver is perfect. However, Pokemon Legends Arceus is my second favorite Pokemon game of all time. And you know what? It goes in superior. It's just that good. The fact that it, changes the formula to where, yes, you can do Pokemon battles with wild Pokemon if you want, or you can just try to catch them normally, or not normally, you can catch them without being seen, You could just try to do it that way as a trainer. You're not forced into battles, and the Pokemon, instead of just being, out there roaming around, they'll actually attack you too, the trainer yourself. So you have to play it smart. And they also add extra RPG mechanics into it with the power and swift type moves that you could change to. It was really good. It was a breath of fresh air. And it was leagues by leagues the better game compared to it was the best Pokemon game to come out that year between it and Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. Pokemon Legends Arceus was the better game, hands down. It is one of the best Pokemon games out there, and it is mainline too, which makes it even better. But yeah, it belongs to Superior. The only reason I actually dropped the playthrough is because Elden Ring came out. And I knew all my focus needed to be on that if I ever wanted to complete it. So I may pull it out of being dropped at some point and, finish the playthrough. You never know. Depends on if people want that. Alright, now onto another game. Fate Extra. This game, I wanted to play on stream. I wanted to play on stream and go all the way through it. But, unfortunately, when I was playing it, people really weren't interested in watching it. I don't really understand why. Because, well, maybe I do. The new Fate Extra, Recode, looks to be fixing some of the issues that the original Fate Extra had, such as the battles feeling a bit repetitive as it's a rock, paper, scissors type game where you're blind to the enemy's moves completely, and you just have to be a little lucky in guessing what kind of move is coming up so you can beat it, so on and so forth, which does take a form of strategy, but it's not one that people like watching or doing that often. However, the gameplay and story itself is really good. It's one of the best Fate games I've ever played. It honestly belongs in great. I won't say it goes in amazing. Some people will say, wait, no, that one belongs in amazing. No. For me, it goes in great. It actually goes above SD Gundam Battle Alliance. It's just that good. Any higher praise I could give it, and it would be an amazing. But yeah, I actually really love this game. No joke, I commissioned custom art of myself and Tamamo no Mae because I wanted to play this game. And that's why I ordered that art. To have it for a title card, a thumbnail. And unfortunately, the playthrough had to be dropped because people weren't interested in watching it, but it was still a great time. I love playing that game, and I'm glad I got that art. So all in all, it was worth it. It was a good game, and whenever the remake of it, Fate Extra Recode, it was Recode, right? I can't remember what the title was called. But whenever that comes out, I look forward to playing that. That one I'm playing through on stream. You better believe it. And yeah, Alex, Elden Ring does slay all. It does slay all. Speaking of slaying all, Rune Factory 5. I enjoy this game greatly. It's a good game. It's a really good game. It's going to go into the great category. It's going to go, I'd say above Solasta, but below Battle Operation Code Fairy. And the reason why is because the battle mechanics, they're simple. It's not meant to be about the combat. No. It's a fantasy Harvest Moon. You go around having fun Harvest Moon type scenario, so on and so forth. And it's just a good time. And main reason I stopped playing it on stream is because I thought, okay, I want to start over. The Switch version, which is the original version, it's good. It's good. But I got tired of the bad optimization of the Switch version. I want to get back to it eventually when I have it on PC. However, I keep on getting distracted by other things, so I never end up getting it on PC. Ergo, that's why it's been on hiatus, a little bit of a drop setting thing right now. It'll probably come back later, though. Hopefully before Rune Factory 6 gets around here. But yeah, it's a fun time. Highly recommend. It's just a chill game that you can relax and have fun with. 1% recommend. Hey, Lucy, how's it going? How's it going? Good to see ya. And how's it going? It's going great. So far, we've ranked a lot of the games that I've talked about. And people are probably a little upset about, my ranking system so far on these games because they would have other things for where these games would be ranked. But you know what? It's my list. And as I said earlier, anyone who doesn't agree with me, they're allowed to be wrong. Ah, that's some good tea. But yeah, no joke, you actually got here just as we're moving on to New Gundam Breaker, the chill and build series that I was doing. Now this right here, I'm still doing it off and on. It's never going to be dropped. It is going to be a continuous for the rest of my streams, rest of my channel's existence. Will it be frequently done? No, it's just an off and on thing for fun, relax and chill. And honestly, I'm putting it immediately in great. It goes above Necropolis. And you know what? I'm going to put above Solasta, but below Rune Factory 5. Because I enjoy the building in New Gundam Breaker. A lot of people don't like New Gundam Breaker. They say, oh, it's lesser than Gundam Breaker 3. And I can see that. Action-wise, it's not as fast-paced. It's a little slower. There are a few steps taken that are backwards. You can tell it was more a proof of concept for a multiplayer mode. But really, the game isn't bad. It's not bad. When it launched, it was bad. But they fixed the issues with it. They patched up and everything, and it was a good time. It was a good time. I still enjoy it. I love the building in it more than Gundam Breaker 3 because I can actually maneuver things around to look the way I want it to a lot easier instead of it being, what's the better way to put it? Some things just didn't feel right when building in Gundam Breaker 3. And you don't get that in New Gundam Breaker. As well as New Gundam Breaker, parts actually have individual stats to them. Unlike Gundam Breaker 3 where everything had the exact same stats no matter what. Which bothered the hell out of me. That's the main thing I didn't like about Gundam Breaker 3, and why I love Gundam Breaker 2. Gundam Breaker 2 is best Gundam Breaker, mark my words. But yeah, the Gundam Breaker Chill and Build series that I've been doing, it's gonna stick around. I need to do another one here sometime soon. But yeah, just for right now, it's a fun time to chill and chat with y'all. Sort of like what we're doing today. And yeah, Lucy saw that Locke talk trash about Sedan earlier. If they have opinions, they can do on it. They can do it themselves. True. If they actually, Lucy, you have the link to this. If you want to go ahead and link this this tier list and stream, people can go ahead and fill out this as well. And they can show me, what games they enjoyed me playing the most as well. I'd love to see it. Just which of my stream series they enjoyed the most. I'd love to see that, honestly. Saw some joker make the Patlibur engrams in Gundam Breaker. Yes, I love that. It was so well made. It was so. The Gundam Breaker series is so well made, and how well you can customize and rebuild your mobile suits. It's just so good, and I hope, I have my fingers crossed that Bamco, if you're listening, please remaster Gundam Breaker 1 and 2 into a collection that you put on the PS5, PC, Xbox, whatever, just put it out there where people can have it, and have it be in where it's an international edition where people can finally play it in English. Please, I beg of you, because a game like that needs to be on PC. Thank you for linking it there, Lucy. I greatly appreciate it. All right, next up is another game that's going to be endlessly replayable, HoloCure. As some of you may know, I don't watch HoloLive. I never got bothered watching HoloLive. I just didn't care. However, I saw Mal and a few others playing this game. I thought, I'll give it a shot. The sprite work was good. Actually, sprite work is amazing. The music in it is a bop. And honestly, whenever I started playing, I was thinking, okay, this seems fun. And honestly, it was Carnelia who convinced me to try it out. I played it, and immediately I thought, oh wow, this is a twin stick shooter roguelike type thing. with an auto battle system. Interesting. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, why don't you play Vampire Survivors instead? And the reason why is I will play HoloCure over Vampire Survivors any day because HoloCure made all their own assets. Vampire Survivors, some of the assets are lifted directly out of Castlevania. I'm not even kidding. They literally stole, Vampire Survivors literally stole some assets. Not all of them, but some of them. But anyhow, we're talking about HoloCure here. The gameplay's fun. It's a good time. It's a great time, in fact. I won't say that it's one of the best games out there because, it's got endless replayability to it, but I'm not playing it on a daily basis. That said, it's really good. I would say, it belongs in the great category. It belongs in the great category. I'd say above Necropolis. I forgot to check if they finally add Tokino Sora to HoloCure. I don't think they've had an update yet. We're waiting for it to be re-released on Steam right now. And whenever that happens, they're going to be releasing the next update and batch of characters, I believe. But yeah, the game's fun. And I say this as someone who's not a Hololive fan, so take that as you will. Next up, Meet Your Maker. Oh, I love this game. I play this game in my off time just for me. Because there's just something about a game where you build your own dungeon, your own death trap dungeon. You have other players go through it, and then you go through theirs to prove whose death trap dungeon is better, yours or theirs. It's just so good. I love seeing the creativity and getting inspired for creativity of my own. It's a good time. It's a good game. It's not amazing though. There are flaws to it, but it's a really, really good time. I actually say out of all these games, I'd put it above Rune Factory 5. It's that good. It's a really fun time. I highly recommend giving it a shot if you're interested in that type of game. The only thing I wish was different is the grungy look to it all. I know it has this wasteland feel to it and all that, but I don't know. After a while, the wasteland feel gets a little grating to me. But that's just me. Other people might not feel that way. Oh, I need to take a sip of my tea. Ah, that's some good tea. All right, next up. One Finger Death Punch 2. This game's a good time. It's not a great game. It's not a mega game. It's an okay game. It's a fun time. Matter of fact, I'd say it's better than New Pokemon Snap. No. It's right below New Pokemon Snap here. And the reason I'm placing it there is because it's a game that you play. It's a game that you play just every once in a while to have fun with. The Twitch integration made it a whole lot more fun than it usually is. Just seeing everyone's names pop up as they're trying to end me. I love that. I won't play it again on stream. But for right now, I'm just gonna say, it's a good time. I can highly recommend playing it, especially if you can get it on sale. It's a nice, cheap, fun experience. And yeah, I loved it. It was a good time. It wasn't the best game in the world, but it's okay. It's good. It's a good game. It's a good game. Oh, Ghostbuster Spirits Unleashed. This goes up into Superior. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is the best Ghostbusters game I have ever played. And the fact that it's a multiplayer game where you can play with friends, or you can, where you're the Ghostbusters, or you're a ghost. There's just so much fun to be had with it. It's like a goofy version of Dead by Daylight, but with more fun because the players can actually fight back. So both sides are actually fighting. The ghost is a little bit more powerful, but that's just to balance it out. It's just a grand time. I highly recommend it, and I want to play it again. I want to get Kay and the gang back together. Kay, Chozo, and a few others. Just gather us all together so we can go ahead and play some more Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed at some point. It is a good time. It's a grand time. And you know what? I'd say it's better than Legends Arceus in my opinion. I love the game so much because it's very authentic to the Ghostbusters franchise. Ooh. And now we're on to Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2. This right here is, I have to put it right next to Gundam Battle Operation Code Fairy. I actually, believe it or not, I'm going to put, there we go. I'm going to put it below Code Fairy because Code Fairy is a good single player experience. I love that. And Battle Operation 2 is a great experience as well. It's almost an equal experience. I prefer Code Fairy a little bit more purely because I'm not much of a versus gamer. I'm more of a co-op guy. Co-op and story. So it's the thing of, I love playing with friends, and like a team with friends, Battle Operation goes above Code Fairy. But whenever I'm just playing it and going against randos or teamed with randos, it's below Code Fairy. So it's a thing of really, we're going to count them on equal footing right there. We're going to count them on equal footing. Great game, good mechanics, and just a lot of fun to play. Demio. This game right here immediately goes into the amazing category. It is legitimately short burst of D&D action, and it's a good time because of it. You play it with other people, just get together, hang out, have fun. It's cross-platform between VR and PC. You could just have a great time with it. It is fairly pricey. I suggest getting it on sale. But the game is fully complete. They have all the different campaigns in it now. Every time you boot up a campaign, the dungeons are randomized, so it's got a bit of roguelike elements. You can play it solo, where you control 4 units on the field and just use your cards tactically to fight, or you can play with multiple people. There's duos, and then, you can a whole group of 4. It's just a grand time. And I believe I think they actually added a versus mode in it as well for people who want to get competitive as well, too. So it's a great time. Just a lot of fun to have. Good party game, sit down, hang out with friends. And, the type of game, I actually think it might be better than Splatoon 3. Just a bit. And you know what? I'm going to move Hogwarts Legacy below Splatoon 3. There we go. That's how we're going to rank it right now. Good games and good times. Also good to see you there, Kevin. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well there. And yes, Pokemon Violet is in meh. Because even after the stream series ended, because people were backseating too much, I played off camera, and I just couldn't get into it. Too dialogue heavy for a Pokemon game, and too many glitches. Just wasn't that great. Wonder what happened to RX-79 G levels 2 through 4. Only see 1 and 5. That's a good question. I don't really know. That's a good question. I don't know, Alex. Forewarned. And this thumbnail brings back memories too. Back when I was hanging out with Josa. Oh man, I miss her quite a bit. She's a cool person. Forewarned is a great time. I'm not gonna say it's an amazing game. I'm gonna say it's a great time because, okay, it's essentially better Phasmo. You have different objectives you can do. You can go in, figure out the mummy's name, get the treasure, get out of there. There's also many objectives you have to go and try and get treasure in there. There's death traps you have to worry about instead of just being haunted. You can have it where there's a time limit, no time limit. The stages are always randomized, procedurally generated. And then, of course, you can even banish and exorcise the mummy as well. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. And all with up to 4 people, it's a grand time. It's a really good time. As to multiplayer Phasma-like experiences, this is by far the best one. This right here goes probably right about here, honestly. It's a good time. I highly recommend Forewarned if anyone likes the idea of Phasma multiplayer games, but wants something that's a little more interactive. It's not quite as spooky, so it's easier for people who aren't as good with horror as well. It's got that sense of adventure to it, though, and that's what makes it great. You're always having a new adventure, and it's just a lot of fun. Highly recommended. And the memories I have in that, specifically of Spooking Lock. Good times. Oh, you've yet to play Rune Factory 5? It's a good game. Highly recommended. I'd get it on PC instead of the Switch, though, if you can. Are these Rabbit's old model? Yes, you can also see my old model here too, like on the Pokemon Snap. That is the version 1.0 I used to have. Well, that's Todd's outfit, but that's my head photoshopped onto it. This one has my actual model there. My old model, my 1.0. But yeah, my hair's grown out since then. Next game, Sea of Thieves. It goes up in amazing. Or do I put in... No, I'm going to put in Superior. It's a game that I can endlessly replay. I can play it with friends at any point in time because it's an MMO type of experience where you go around, adventure, have fun, you can get into combat, you can just explore. You can deal with PvE or PvP, solve puzzles, riddles, just everything. And sailing on the high seas is just relaxing for the most part. Meg still won't stop chasing me for my number, but you know what? Megalodon is not getting it. You like the new model? Well, I thank you. I like this model too. I like my new model more. I love my old design, but there's just something about this one, the one I'm currently in, that speaks to me a bit more. It feels more me, the more fantasy feel. But yes, Sea of Thieves, good time. Highly recommend for everyone. It is a superior game. I will say, I think Pokemon needs to go below it because, again, I have more fond memories with Sea of Thieves because I've played it with friends a lot, as well as I've just played it exploring here with you all in chat. Just a grand time going on adventure. It's good time, good times. Next up, Left 4 Dead 2. Okay, this game, it's still played today. Obviously, this is going in Superior. It's still played today by almost everybody. That's how good the game is. So there's no question. Left 4 Dead 2 is a superior game. It's a superior game, superior multiplayer experience. Matter of fact, as much as I love these other ones, I think Left 4 Dead 2 probably has to go and take the first place spot because it's not very often that people don't want to play it. There is some times where people will just feel out of it because they played it so much, you know, because there is such thing as burnout on games. But all in all, people can always come back to Left 4 Dead 2 and have a good time playing either the normal version, modded version, whatever. It's sort of like the Minecraft of zombie shooters, really. People can just have a good time with it and do whatever they want. It's a great time, great time. And I still remember playing that game back when it came out on the 360. I was playing with some of my old pals. Ah, man, I miss them so much. And we would go through, and we had pretty much we gotten all but one of the achievements. The only achievement we didn't get was the one where you slay a set amount of zombies over the lifetime of playing through the game. That was just a ridiculously high number. Good stuff, good stuff. Man, I love Left 4 Dead 2. It's such a good game. There we go. That's some good tea. I did do a bit of Fate Extra. I wanted to play through more of it, but sadly, viewership for it wasn't that high, so I had to drop it. But I do play through it on my own time. It's a good game. Left 4 Dead 2 always fun, especially with more guns thanks to CS Source. Yeah, and they even add more ones with the final update. So I think they added a bunch of Counter-Strike guns to it as well, which is really cool. Hi, Left 4 Dead 2. Oh, how are you? Ah, right, Lucy. I found out that you and Locke don't have Left 4 Dead 2. That needs to be fixed. Y'all said you don't have the money. But my gamers, it's literally $9.99 when it's not on sale. When it's on sale, it's $1 to $1.99. There is no excuse. That said, I can't rag on Lucy too much. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to rag on Lucy and Locke too much. After all, sometimes people get focused on other games first. It makes sense. It makes sense. Ooh, Phantom Abyss. This is an amazing game right here. Absolutely amazing. I'm actually going to put this in my top on the amazing list. Reason why is because it's an action parkour roguelike dungeon crawler where you're just running through to get treasure and get out. It's essentially 3D Spelunky. That's the best way I can put it, except for not as much combat. You're just going through, trying to survive, avoiding traps. It's a fun time. I love that type of gameplay where you're just going through and being a rogue. You can Indiana Jones your way through it by grappling things with your whip and pulling yourself forward, and all these other things. It's just a lot of fun. And the fact that even though it's not multiplayer in the sense that most games are multiplayer, it is multiplayer in the fact that when a dungeon is complete and someone's gotten the treasure at the very end of the dungeon, that dungeon seals off and no one can ever play it again. A new dungeon has to be generated. It gets completely closed down. So there is a sense of urgency to trying to complete certain dungeons, which is really cool. I love that. It's like being an adventurer amongst a group of adventurers trying to race for the treasure, you know? And there's just something fun about that. You're broke. So your 2.25k bit pad stares menacingly. Yeah. I wonder why you're broke. Huh, Lucy. But yeah, Phantom Abyss, if you haven't ever played it, I highly recommend it. I think it's still in early access. It might be coming out of early access soon, but it's a good time. It's a really good time. It goes in the amazing category for someone like me who loves that type of gameplay. Monster Hunter Rise. It goes right below Phantom Abyss. Reason why it's below Phantom Abyss is because, one, yes, it's an amazing game. Two, it's a game I could play almost endlessly. But the main reason it's below Phantom Abyss is because I got burnt out on Monster Hunter Rise. I love the game with all my being. I have many fond memories of it. But let me tell you, after putting in hundreds upon hundreds of hours into it and gathering as much gear as I could between the original one, that's just the original one on Switch, and then I played it on PC, power leveling through it to be ready for Sunbreak, and then doing all the Sunbreak content. Oh my lordy, let me tell you, I've put at least 1,000 hours into that game. I got burnt out, and as much as I love it, I don't know if I'll be going back to Rise anytime soon. If I go back to anything, it'd probably be Monster Hunter World, because I haven't played that in a hot minute. But I do love Rise. I think Rise is better for the sense of speed and mechanically, but we'll get to that point whenever I talk about Monster Hunter World, I guess. Sounds like an internal... The cat cooks, they make you food. Oh, sounds like internal user issue, skill issue. No, not skill issue. I beat the game. I completely cleared it. If anything, it's a skill issue on the game for not being able to beat me. Jump King. Meh. It's an okay game. It's a rage game. And the mechanics are fine. They work. But really, after you play the first 5 minutes of it, you've pretty much seen all the game has to offer. You just gotta keep climbing up. There's not really much to it. It's not that great of a game. I'm gonna be honest, only up is better. So Jump King goes into the meh category. I like the artwork in it, the pixel art, but it's just meh. Ari. Seems cool that you can't import items from previous Monster Hunter games. I mean, to be fair, it's because they're supposed to be years apart from each other in different parts of the world, so it makes sense. Though I wish that there would be a proper Monster Hunter open world MMO type thing for it one day, where you can just go through each region and have fun. But after what happened with Monster Hunter Frontier shutting down, as well as Monster Hunter Online shutting down, then again, that's because it was made by a company that didn't know what they were doing. It wasn't really Capcom. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a Monster Hunter MMO anytime soon. At least not for a while. Next up, AM2R, aka another Metroid 2 remake. It's absolutely amazing. It goes above... Yeah, it goes above Monster Hunter Rise. As someone who loves the Metroid franchise and just exploration, Metroid 2 was always a fun time to me, but then another Metroid 2 remake, the fan game, oh my god, that is the best version of Metroid 2 I have ever played. It has sprite quality on par with something similar to, I guess if you take Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion Zero Mission and fuse their art styles together but with more detail and just the proper world design, level design, oh, it's so good. And they even changed some things to where it fits in a little bit better lore-wise with the Metroid universe, as well as adding some bonuses for people who have played Metroid 2 before and need a little bit of an extra challenge. I'll put it like that. It's a great game. It's an amazing game, in fact. Highly recommend another Metroid 2 remake. You can't technically get it normally anymore because, you know, it's a fan game and Nintendo did the cease and desist because they were having their own Metroid 2 remake coming out, which I recommend, you know, playing that one too, because if you're going to play the fan game, you need to play the real game as well. And by real, I mean official. They're both real games, just you get what I mean. You know, support the company that actually owns the franchise. But I know people are going to be saying, ooh, oh, support the billion-dollar company instead of the fan. The fan people aren't getting money for it anyway. If you love the IP, show it. Vote with your wallet if you enjoy an IP. And yeah, the fan-made game AM2R was actually better in my opinion. It was also much, much, much harder. And you know me, I love a good challenge. But I actually think Metroid 2 should be harder because it's literally going onto a planet to destroy all Metroids. The Metroids are supposed to be this ultimate bioweapon, so it makes sense for it to be one of the harder games in the franchise. So I love that change. Forgot what game it was that scans your own save files for items you unlock and gives you some reward items for each new game. Wing Commander Privateer? Maybe, but I know .hack does that as well. Ooh, Micro Mages. This game right here I have fond memories of because, one, it's a simple, fun platformer. It's a good time. It's a good time, but also it's the game that I first got to know Riharu from. First time Riharu, who's on my shoulder here right now, actually visited my streams. And Ree's been a good friend ever since. I have a lot of fond memories of this one. And honestly, I'm going to say this game right here probably belongs with how the gameplay and design is. It belongs right next to Hollow here. You know, I'd say right below Hollow here. It's a good game. Really good game. Highly recommend. Simple 8-bit platformer that was made to actually run on a standard NES. No joke, you can actually take the ROM, put it onto a repro cart, and run on official hardware. Ow. Why? Why, Lucy? Why? What did I do to you? Don't answer that. But what did I do to you? That's some good tea. But yeah, all in all, Micro Mages, good game. It's a fairly cheap game too, and it works with 3D Sin, which is an NES accessory for PC that you can get on Steam, which turns old 8-bit NES games into 2.5D. At least some of them, not all of them, but some of them. Just Cause? I've heard that's also a good game franchise. Maybe I should check it out sometime. Mega Man Zero. This is my favorite game of all time. It's of course taking the #1 superior slot. The original Mega Man Zero is my all-time favorite game, as many of you know. I was one of the original beta testers for the game when it was going from Japan to international. I signed on to be a beta tester, a quality assurance tester. I lied about my age so I could do it. They didn't notice, they didn't check, and yeah, so I should have been allowed to do it, but I did. And man, let me tell you, I have a lot of nostalgia for it, and I'm one of the reasons why that game is so difficult. Because I played through and went, yeah, this difficulty's fine. Because I wasn't a beta tester in the sense of, testing to check for bugs or anything like that. They already did that with their Japanese team. But what I was a beta tester of, quality assurance tester, was for making sure bugs and stuff for it going from Japanese to English was fine. And I was playing through the Japanese version when I was beta testing it. Because in terms of quality assurance, I was there to see, how well it would function whenever the code is converted to NTSC instead of being PAL or something like that. Yeah, I don't really know what the coding was. I was a stupid kid at the time, so I didn't pay attention. It's just to see how well it would work, how well it'd be accepted, if they need to change the difficulty down or up, so on and so forth. So, if anyone thinks that game is too hard, you can blame me. You're welcome. But yeah, I love Mega Man Zero. Best game of the franchise. It's a weird game, a bit like Tenchu for lots of grappling action. I see. Ooh, Resident Evil 2, and I did a randomized version of it. Resident Evil 2, the remake, it's amazing. It's top notch. The randomized version, also great. I'm actually gonna say this beats out Phantom Abyss in terms of amazing. Because I had so much fun with that game, and the randomizer made it to where I got to have so much more fun with it. I wish games would have randomizers built into them more often. Resident Evil 2 does not. I had to get an external one to do that. But I wish more games that were set like this could have randomizers built into them, because a randomizer increases the replayability so much, especially in a game like Resident Evil 2, the original and the remake, where the main thing about it is once you've played through and experienced the story, you want to speedrun it because you know what you're doing, how to solve the puzzle, so on and so forth. So having everything randomized around makes it to where you have to think outside the box. It's not the same motion, so you're trying to see if you can beat it really quick in different ways, and I love that. The Resident Evil 2 randomized was a great time. Man, I cannot think back on that fondly, even more fondly than I do. Only reason it's not going up into Superior is because, well, while we put in a Resident Evil game up in Superior sooner than later, but for right now, no, this is what it is. Also good speed. Also, speedrunning gives stuff. Exactly. Resident Evil 2 is just really good for that. Jeez, my throat is extra dry today. Gonna have to keep extra hydrated then. Next up, Gunvolt Saga Luminous Avenger X. It's an amazing game. It is. I'd say this goes above Splatoon 3, but below... no, it goes above Demio. Pretty much, think Mega Man Zero, but if you were playing as Harpuya instead of Zero, you're going through flying around, blasting things, and it's all about going fast and getting that sense of flow while you go through and beat all these challenges. It's a really fun time, and honestly, that's the best way I can describe it. I can't really add more to that. Just a great time, and they even improved upon it with the sequel, which I guess we'll get there, or whenever we get there, but yeah. Luminous Avenger X is a great time for people who love action platformers, going speedy, and just having a solid sense of flow to them. Here we go. Mega Man Zero 2. Mega Man Zero 2, I actually... yeah, it goes in... I love the Mega Man Zero franchise, but should I put all of them in Superior? I feel like I'm cheating if I do that. Screw you, it's my list. It's going in Superior. All the Mega Man Zero games are going in Superior. Just a spoiler warning. Mega Man Zero 2, it's the same as Mega Man Zero 1, just with some new mechanics. The level up of the weapons is done faster. The stage design is great. It expands more upon the story, and I just love it. It's a grand time. I can't really say more about it than that because I already said what I want to about it when I talked about Mega Man Zero 1. I also was a beta tester for Mega Man Zero 2. In fact, I was a beta tester for Mega Man Zero 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Anniversary Collection on the DS. Hi, back. I'm Rabbit. Good to see you. But yeah, all the Mega Man Zero games, they have a soft spot. I have a soft spot for them in my heart. And it's just good times all around. I highly recommend them. If you can, get the Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection because it actually runs smoother than the Game Boy Advance games did. So, who would have thought it? Next up, Mega Man Zero 3. I will put that, above Mega Man Zero 2. Because Mega Man Zero 2 is good. It's a lot like the first game. But Zero 3 is better because you don't have to unlock all your abilities anymore. All your abilities with each weapon are unlocked from the start. So it focuses more on the action platforming instead of the, struggle of getting better with your weapons, which I appreciate. It's a fun thing to have. And by the third entry in the franchise, it's about time that you have that in there. And a lot of people will tell you the story in Mega Man Zero 3 is where it really starts popping off. Because it was already really good in Mega Man Zero 1. It could be self-contained in Zero 1. You don't have to have anything more than that if you don't need to. But they expand upon it more with 2, which was a bit of a weaker entry in the franchise. The Zero 3 just jumped the shark even more. They went for it. They said, no. We're going to jump the shark with this, and we're going to show you just how serious the situation is in this saga here. And I always thank it for that. But yeah, Mega Man Zero 3... Good stuff. It belongs to Superior. And another one that belongs to Superior, Mega Man Zero 4. And I have a tough time choosing between Mega Man Zero 4 and Mega Man Zero 2 being the third position there. I'm going to edge out slightly to Mega Man Zero 4. I did say that 4 was lesser beforehand, but that's because I can go back and forth on these two. Mega Man Zero 4 is a good conclusion to the Zero Saga. Wraps it up with a nice little bow at the end. And it's sort of funny because Mega Man Zero 4 actually answers Zero's long-time question since Mega Man X4, which is, what is he fighting for? He finally gets that answer by the end, and has one of the best quotes of all time that I personally love, which is, Vile's there and says, "Oh, what so-called hero of justice here is, are you really going to throw that away to slay me, a human, and become a true maverick?" And he said, "I never claimed to be your hero, and I couldn't care less about justice. I'm only fighting for those I see in front of me who I view to be right. Call me what you wish. I'm going to take you down. I know what I'm fighting for, As long as if I see an enemy in front of me, I won't hesitate. I will destroy it." I paraphrased it because I can't remember it exactly, but it is one of the best quotes, and actually brings Zero's story full circle finally, which I absolutely love. It's just so good, so good. So yeah, the Mega Man Zero Saga, great games, absolutely great. You never said I am before saying back? Doesn't matter. I know you're still back. You can't win this one, Lucy. Sorry, you can't win this one back. And no, I will not apologize. Next game. Shin Sakura Taisen, aka Soccer Wars for the PlayStation 4. This is an amazing game. I'd say it belongs right about... it belongs right about here. Not above randomized. No, get in there. There we go. It belongs right there. Shin Sakura Taisen, the original Soccer Wars games, they were turn-based tactics games, and they were a lot of fun. They all had an interconnected story, and the original Soccer Wars is what gave us the real-time choice mechanics, where you had to pick a choice between multiple dialogue options. It was the originator of that before BioWare ever tried something like that. Soccer Wars did it first, and that came through with Shin Sakura Taisen, the PS4 game. And the PS4 game went from being a turn-based tactics game to being a more action game, which I think honestly was a good call, because a lot of people, they'd be able to jump in more with it being action than turn-based tactics, and it still had a lot of the stuff that Soccer Wars was known for. Had a great 90s style anime story. It was just a lot of fun sit there. The main story itself was sort of basic, but the characters were like actors on a stage, and they shine. They brought the performance through. I generally end up enjoying every single one of the characters in there. I love the fact that you get a different ending depending on which characters you interact with the most, so on and so forth. And it's really nice. I love the way the game was done, the way the story was handled, and yeah, I can't really say too much more about it without spoiling anything, and I don't want to spoil the game. I want people to go back and play it. But I remember having such a fun time with this, because when I was playing it, not only was I doing everything, just enjoying the game itself, but I gotta have a bunch of people here with me. Like Alex was there, I believe Ranger, you were there, I know Sakib was there, and so many others that I remember fondly. It was a great start to joining in on VTubing, because it was one of the first games I ever did while VTubing, and I love it to this day. It was a great jumping off point. Soccer Wars on the PS4, highly recommend. Oh, you got the quote right there for me. Okay, perfect. I'll go ahead and read this one. "I never cared about justice. I don't ever recall my... let me try that again. My throat got dry. Give me a second. I shouldn't be trying this one in my throat. It is killing me today, but you know what? It is what it is. Anyhow. I never cared about justice. I don't ever recall calling myself a hero. I have always fought for the people I believe in. I won't hesitate. An enemy appears in front of me. I will destroy it. Seal, believe in me. God, that quote's so good. That quote's so good. Speaking of Zero, though, now we're moving into Mega Man ZX. This is a great game. I'm not going to put it up in Superior, because it's not a game that I count Superior, but it does belong here right around the same vein as AM2R. Matter of fact, I'm going to put it just slightly below AM2R, actually. Nope, below Monster Hunter Rise, above Monster Hunter Rise, but below AM2R. It's a good game. It has the sense of flow and everything like the Mega Man Zero franchise did with the mechanics and all that. And it actually opted to be sort of open world, which was a really great idea for a Metroidvania-style Mega Man game. Only problem is that the map was hot garbage, and I don't mean the level layout, I mean the actual map. The way they had you look at the map on the screen, trying to figure out where to go, it was not done in the traditional way. I was thinking of, oh my lordy, how do they expect us to figure this out on our own? We did, but oh man. But yeah, Mega Man ZX, a great time. You could tell that the game developers, whenever they were developing it, they really got into Kamen Rider and Sentai at that time. Because it is straight up a Kamen Rider Mega Man game. 100%, there's no doubting it. If you enjoy a lighthearted, actiony Mega Man game that has the flow of the Zero series, a little bit more of the challenge of the X games, or X Saga, I should say, not X Games, X Saga, you'll have yourself a grand time. Mighty number 9. Spelunky 2. Spelunky 2 is an amazing game as well. It's one of my favorite roguelikes of all time. One of my favorite. I'd say it's even better than Phantom Abyss. I'm going to put it... yeah, I do enjoy playing it a bit more than Soccer Wars or Resident Evil 2, so I would put it right there at the top of my amazing. It is an absolutely amazing roguelike game. You all saw me play it with Taiji not too long ago. It's just a silly, fun time. They took the mechanics and formula of Spelunky 1 and said, you know what, let's not fix what isn't broken. We'll just add more to it and give more to have fun with. And that's exactly what they needed to do. And the fact that they put in online multiplayer with crossplay, and it just became even more fun to hang out and play with friends, and there's just more to unlock, more secrets to find. Can't go wrong with it. Can't go wrong with Spelunky 2. It's a good time. If you love action platformers, as well as a little bit of roguelike action, it's probably your best bet. Next up, Bloodstained. Specifically, the classic mode in Bloodstained. It's great. It's a great time. It's essentially a best of for the Castlevania saga in terms of levels, because they literally reuse Castlevania stage layouts from Castlevania 1 through 4, even a little bit of Bloodlines and Rondo of Blood. But it's not as good as the base game. Classic mode is just there as a fun little side mode you can have, just a little bit of fun distraction you can do after you've done everything in the main game. If you're not feeling like using the inbuilt randomizer, you can just go ahead, head back, and have fun with that. Good time, can't really say much more other than just Castlevania goodness. Have fun with it. Next up, Super Mario Bowser's Fury. It's a good game. It's great. It's a great time. It's a short game though, very short. I was able to beat it in, I want to say, about 2-3 hours. Can't remember how long it took, but it's a single stream playthrough. I'd say it goes probably about, well, it's Mario, so your gameplay is always fun, but I think I'd probably play Gundam Breaker again before I play Bowser's Fury. As much as I loved it, it was more of a one and done type thing. So it's a good game, a lot of fun to have with, and again, it's Mario. That's the best I can say, it's Mario. And the way it was done, it's sort of like, actually, it was sort of like, it was Mario, but if Mario had a giant open world to, not giant, a small open world to it, and it played more, and it had similar mechanics to Banjo-Kazooie to where it doesn't kick you out every time you go to do a little challenge. The challenges are just built into the stage itself. So it's a good time. It's a good time. If you love Banjo-Kazooie, you're going to love Bowser's Fury. And if you love Mario, you're just going to have a fun time anyway. So I recommend it. I recommend it. And the fact that it comes bundled with Super Mario 3D World, can't go wrong. Oh, yes. Castlevania Simon's Destiny, aka the Doom mod that makes Doom into the very first Castlevania game. I had a fun time with this. Absolutely fun time. And I will stand on this hill saying, I wish I could play through this again for the first time. I wish I could play this again for the first time, because after you've done it once, the surprise factor of the finale just, it won't hit you as hard as it could anymore. That said, I really enjoyed it. And I think where I'll put it is probably right above Solasta, but below Bowser's Fury, because I had a great time with it. But in the end, I've had more fun with these other games a bit more. However, one that I will not be putting in great is Castlevania Bloodlines. This is my all-time favorite 2D classic Vania game. This goes... yeah, it goes right here. It goes right actually... No, I'm going to put it above Mega Man 04, and actually I'm going to put it above Mega Man 03. It is my favorite 2D classic Vania game. The music in it is spot on. It has that nice twang like an electric guitar in the soundtrack, and the music just feels proper Castlevania even with that. The gameplay has replayability because you can play through either as John Morris or Eric Lacard. You know, you have two different play styles you can play as, Whip or Alucard Spear. It's good stuff, and it's just a fun time. It's classic Vania with 16-bit era graphics from the Sega Genesis. It's a fun time. It's also one of the harder games because you have limited continues, but I love that game so much. It's a good time. All right, catch you later, Kevin. You have yourself a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. But yeah, Castlevania Bloodlines, good time. I really want to revisit it someday, just because I can. All right, next one on the list, Hardcore Mecha. This is a great game. I won't say it's amazing, but it's a great game. It's sort of interesting. It's a 2D action platformer that, well, it's a mecha game, so I really don't know how to describe it more than that. Think if Gundam was a 2D action platformer. There we go. That's the best way I can describe it. If Gundam was a 2D action platformer, that's what you'd have. And it's sort of love letter to all mecha franchises out there, in all honesty, because it has super robots, it has Gundam style things, it has stuff that is very similar to Full Metal Panic in terms of mecha design, as well as Armored Core. The story just feels solid. It's a good time. It's a very good time. If you love mecha in general, you will love Hardcore Mecha, because the gameplay is fun. It's even got a bit of an endless mode now where you can go ahead and just go and upgrade your mech and try to get more things going. But then there's also a multiplayer mode where it's a versus. Really fun. It's a really fun game. The Spelunky 2 co-op. Man, I miss hanging out with Falk, and I also had Q join on that one. It was a good time. I'm going to actually put this above Spelunky 2 normal, because co-op always makes the game better. I love Spelunky 2, but the co-op made it so much more fun because of the chaos. Absolutely loved it. And man, good stuff. I hope those two are doing great. I haven't heard from either of them in a long time, but yeah, I hope they're doing really good. Next up is The Messenger. This is a love letter to Ninja Gaiden, specifically the 2D Ninja Gaiden games. It's a really good time, and I'd say it's probably better than Lunas Avenger X. I'd say it's a little bit below Monster Hunter Rise, though it did come out roughly around the same time, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's take the best elements of 2D Ninja Gaiden, give it a funny story to where there's a little bit of a seriousness to it, to where, okay, the situation is you gotta go over, fight the Demon Lord, defeat them, yada yada. You know, your typical Ninja Gaiden story type stuff. but they had a nice sense of humor with it, which really carried the game. Well, okay, the gameplay itself carried the game, but the sense of humor was a nice added bonus. Can't recommend it enough. I'm running out of things to say because there's so many games I've played, so many games, and I just love each of these. Got so many fun memories. I still remember I was playing this back when I had my 1.5 model, which was a Mega Man Legends style looking 3D model. I absolutely love that, and Messenger's a good time. If you haven't played it, I think it goes on sale fairly frequently now, and it's a prequel to the game called Sea of Stars is coming out here soon, which is more of a turn-based RPG in the sense that Chrono Trigger was. So do be sure to check out the developers. They're really good at what they do, and I highly recommend their gameplay. Oh, and something about the Messenger that was really cool. One of my favorite things is, well, one, the music, obviously really good. And it had a mixture of 8-bit and 16-bit music because through the game, you go from the past to the future. When you're in the past, you are playing in an 8-bit graphic style. And once you go in the future, you go into 16-bit. It's really cool. The level design change is based on if you're in the past or future with each different bit style. And the music changes along with it. It's so cool. I love the way they did it, and it's just seamless. I wish more games would take that kind of idea and implement it to them. It'd be a really good time. But yeah, Messenger is an absolutely amazing game. And I believe it was the developer's first outing too, so for a first outing, they knocked it out of the park. Next up, Phasmophobia. It's okay. It's a fun time. It's a good game. It's more of a co-op gameplay experience, so it's a thing of after you played it for so long, it gets repetitive because you're doing the same thing over and over again, expect different results, and it's not really anything different at that point. But it is a fun time. Also, Mythical Mix, thank you so much for the raid. How's it doing? Welcome to the stream. You were playing Remnant 2. I hear good things about that game. Hope you're doing well today, by the way. Hope you're doing well today. And to those who joined on the stream who don't know me, I am Rabbit. I'm a variety streamer for Amberglow, and today we are celebrating my 100 games completed with a tier list. Yeah, because I completed 100 different games on stream, and now I'm just rating every game that I've ever played, ones that are completed, were dropped, ongoing, or just, ones that are endlessly reusable on stream today, just because, I play a lot of different games, and you're all probably curious as to which ones I like the most, which ones I don't like as much as the others, So this thing of, I'm here to show that because we've beaten 100 games, so, might as well celebrate it somehow, right? And hey, but yeah, how you doing there? How you doing there, Mythical? How you doing? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well today. And Midnight, good to see you as well. To the stream, welcome. Good to have you here. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. All right. But yeah, the game I just rated here a moment ago was actually Phasmophobia, which I'm saying is, when it first came out, it was an amazing time because it was the only game like it. But these days we have other games that are like it and a little bit better, such as Forewarned, as I rated earlier. It's better Phasmo, because different level designs that are procedurally generated and more to do in it. Phasmo is still great. It's a fun time with friends, but I have over 100 hours in that game. I'm ready to move on to one of the other ones that has more to do in it. You're doing great? I'm glad to hear it. Mythical, glad to hear it. The next game on the list is Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. This game goes into Superior because it is my favorite of the Metroidvania titles. It's just a really good game. Solid. They took everything they learned from Castlevania Symphony of the Night, as well as stuff that they learned people liked and didn't like from Circle of the Moon and Harmony of Despair, streamlined it a bit while still leaving a big sense of exploration, and just made the perfect Castlevania game. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow was just that good. A lot of people thought it was weird because you're not playing as a Belmont in it. Just mix is fine. Roger that. But yeah, Castlevania Art of Sorrow, good game, great entry point despite it being so far down the timeline of the game series. Because it's just a really good way to play. It was for handheld, so there's save points in multiple areas because they were counting for battery life. And even though they don't flat out tell you where to go, they give you enough of a hint. They give you enough of a hint with where you have been, where you haven't been, with how the map works, the skills you get, that you go, oh, I know where I can use this, and it just snaps with you because even though the map is big, it's not too big. It's just right for someone to jump into. And if anyone's ever going to start with a Castlevania game and they've never played Castlevania before, Aria of Sorrow, hands down, just the best of the Metroidvania titles for the Castlevania franchise. Alright, next up, Master Blaster Zero. This game is a good time. I'd actually say it's an amazing time. I won't say it's my favorite game out of all these. As a matter of fact, it's probably going to be right there. It's going to be right there. It's below Splatoon 3, but it's a really amazing game. They took the original Blaster Master, which was hard as balls, and didn't really have its story told that well, and made it into a more accessible game while still keeping a fair amount of challenge. And yeah, it just works really well. They put more story into it so you can understand exactly what you're doing. And it's just really good. And one of the best parts is that the story for both original Blaster Master and Blaster Master Zero is you end up getting yourself involved in the adventure because you're chasing after your pet frog who disappeared into a portal. Yep, that's how you get caught into the adventure. You chase after your pet frog, find yourself fighting aliens. You know, just everyday life things. But yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. Highly recommended. Because it's just really good mechanically, and well, Integrates just does a good job on 2D pixel games. Can't praise them enough. Speaking of pixel games, Cyber Shadow. This is a great game. I'm not gonna say it's an amazing game. This is a great one. I'd say it goes right around with Hardcore Mecha, a little bit higher. It's more on... Ooh. God, my throat is really killing me today. Hope I'm not coming down with something. Ah, God, yeah, my throat is absolutely dying on me. But yeah, anyhow, as I was saying, what did I just put down? God, I lost my train of thought. What I put down? Where did I put it? Oh, Cyber Shadow. Cyber Shadow. It's a good game. Much more like Strider meets Contra than Ninja Gaiden, but there's a lot of fun to be had with it. It's sort of a one-and-done type game. I didn't really feel the urge to revisit it once I played through it the first time. But it was a good time whenever I did play. So it's one of those things that if you like dystopian cyberpunk settings, as well as you want to, play a game where you're a fast-paced ninja going through things, this is a game for you. It's just a fun, one-and-done, enjoy yourself title. Small 5-minute break after Cyber Shadow? Nah. I've got enough tea here to last me. It's something, this thing with my throat's been going on all day, so it's either allergies or I'm coming down with something, one of the two. Besides, we still got a lot of games to get through here, folks. We got a lot of games. I mean, a lot of games. But we've done a good chunk of them. We've done maybe 1/3. Aye, more drink. More drink indeed. Also, we just emptied a container, so time to yeet. Alright. Next up, Resident Evil Village. This game goes up here in the amazing category, right next to Resident Evil 2 Randomize. I won't say it's better than Resident Evil 2 Randomize, because I did like Resident Evil 2 a little bit more, but I love the fact that Village was essentially first-person Resident Evil 4. It was a great time. You go through it, and it had different genres of horror within it, which is really cool. You had the mystic horror and survival horror elements from the village itself and the castle of Lady Dimitrescu, which was really good. You go through that, and you go through that in a fairly quick amount of time, so you get your survivor horror elements out of that. Then you go towards the dollhouse, which is supernatural horror, which is really cool, where you focus more on puzzles. Then you deal with, what's his face, Fishman, which is sort of body horror. And then after that, you wrap it up with what's essentially Saw, with this gritty grindhouse type horror with, I don't remember the guy's name, but I'm going to just call him Nicolas Cage, because he sounded like Nicolas Cage. But yeah, they had so many good things. And then at the end, you had action horror once more, where you're going through and just fighting off the final boss. It was so good. And you even got even more supernatural horror with that Silent Hill type feel in Shadows of Rose. It just covered all the bases, all the different elements of different horror genres, and each part never overstayed its welcome. It was really well made, and a very good way to get a sampler of what type of horror games you might like. So, yeah, it's a really good time. I prefer Resident Evil 2 over it, but that's just my personal preference on which type of horror game I like more. So yeah, good game, good game. Annalyn. This is a great game. It's not an amazing game, it's a great game, because it's a simple, fun time. It's gonna go right up... it's gonna go below Necropolis. Go below Necropolis. It's a simple arcade throwback type thing, because it's sort of like a mixture between Donkey Kong Jr., Pac-Man, and a little bit of Mario tossed in there. Long story short, it's a game that you could play and beat within about 30 minutes to an hour. If that, I think you'd do it in 30 minutes or less, actually, because it's a very short game, but it's a fun time. It only costs about $5, so it's a nice little distraction. That and the design is really fun. Cuphead. This is a great game. I'm not gonna say it's amazing. I'm gonna say it's great, and I'm gonna put it right about. I'm gonna put it slightly above Meet Your Maker. Slightly above Meet Your Maker. Because it's essentially Contra if it had a old Looney Tunes style art style to it, and is 99.9% boss rushes. Or boss battles. Fun time, learn the patterns, not as hard as people think it is, and yeah, anyone who thinks it is the hardest game on the planet, get good. Anyhow, moving on. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow Randomized. You know, I can't separate them. It goes right here with normal Aria of Sorrow. And yeah, everything I said about Aria of Sorrow is the same thing, but I love having the randomized version of it in there. It made it a lot of fun, allowed me to revisit and get a brand new experience with it. Just a good time overall, and allowed it to feel fresh again. I'm not going to put it above the original Castlevania, Aria of Sorrow, because in the end, the original one is designed to be the more streamlined and personal experience, but it is just as fun, just as good. Highly recommend viewing the randomizer if you want to check it out. Plus, it's always fun to play a randomizer with you all in chat, because when you do that, it's just a thing of, you get to have fun, interact with people who are there in chat. Everyone gets to go, okay, is he going to get the party he needs? Is he going to get the party he needs right now? And then we either cheer and joy whenever we get it, or you laugh at my despair when I don't get what I need. Or laugh at my despair. There we go. But yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. Next up, Record of Lotus War, Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth. This game's going up in amazing. As a matter of fact, I will put it. I'll put it above Sakura Wars. And the reason I'm putting it above Sakura Wars is because I love this game. Not only mechanically is it absolutely solid, it's a really good Metroidvania style game where you're playing through as Deedlit, going through this labyrinth to essentially cope with something tragic that happened to her. She's trying to learn how to accept and cope with something. But the gameplay is solid, the story is well written, the pixel art style is absolutely beautiful, really well made. It's made by the same people who made Toho Luna Night, so that should give you an idea as to how difficult it is. But it's just got some really good mechanics, a lot of fun. And I know I have a softer spot for it because I love the Record of Lodoss War OVAs. It was just a good time. I used to watch those all the time. I even had a watch along of Record of Lodoss War in the Discord a while back because I just enjoy it so much. Really good 13 episode OVA. Can't recommend enough. Just like I can't recommend this game enough. Hey Kev, good to see you. Good to see you. Where's Xenoblade? I actually haven't gotten to that point on stream yet because I did try playing Xenoblade on stream, and I'll get to that whenever I get to that. But I only played one of the Xenoblade games on stream. I'll explain about that whenever I get there. But trust me, Xenoblade is good. Xenoblade is real good. Change the randomizers, I and delets essentially, yeah. Yeah, essentially, Hux. Ah, Hollow Knight. My blind playthrough of it. This was a good game. I don't think it's as great as everyone says it is, which I know is going to shock a lot of people. It's a grand time. I love the game. But I think it belongs maybe right around... I'd play Wonder Labyrinth again before I played Hollow Knight again. Because as much as the gameplay is solid and stuff like that, once you've done Hollow Knight once and you've done a full playthrough like I've gone back and I've done pretty much every single thing in, almost every single thing in there, I just don't feel the urge to go back to it. I feel like I had a proper experience and I'm done. You know, I love the gameplay, the mechanics are solid, the map is great, the world is amazing. But it's one of those things that once you finish it, you sort of feel done. Not really a drive to go back, at least for me. But all in all, it's still an amazing game. I can't recommend it enough. And hey there, Zephiel, good to see you, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Also, since it's been a while since I asked this, how is everyone doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. Ooh, Castlevania Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate. Controversial opinion, but I think this game's amazing. I think it's amazing. I would say that it goes... I'd say... right above the Messenger. Waiting with your breath, hold for Xenoblade. Nice. Holidays fun. Speedrun bosses. Ooh, true. Speedrunning could be fun in it. You just got here. Fair enough. Just woke up and your head's still full. I see. Work be work, but not that bad today. Glad your bad is not being that. I was about to say, glad your bad is not being that work today, but you know what? I'm going to stick with that. You know, I'm glad to hear bad is not being work today. Plus morning shift. I see. But yeah, I'm glad to hear everyone's doing all right. But yeah, Castlevania Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate. It's a solid game. It is absolutely solid. It's a game where it's got a little bit of Metroidvania elements where you can explore, but if you want to, you can just go straight from point A to point B because it is made to be more in a linear fashion. It tells the story that it needs to, and honestly, the gameplay's solid. I had a lot of fun with it. It is a good game. It's a little strange that at first it was locked to the 3DS, but I'm glad they re-released it in a HD format for, 360, PlayStation, and PC. I'm glad it got brought over to other consoles because the game's really good. If you like classic Castlevania gameplay, you're gonna love it. If you enjoy more of a dark, gritty, gothic atmosphere, you're gonna love it. It's just really well made. That's a great saying, Hugalai. Glad your bad is not that work today. You know what? Yes, I'm gonna own that. Glad your bad is not that work today. Now we're on to my playthrough of Castlevania Hard Mode. Oof. I love the original Castlevania. I love the original Castlevania. Original Castlevania is a great game. Hard mode, it's about on there, but it's not as good. It's still a fun time, but I'm gonna say hard mode is just okay, because all they did was make it where the enemies hurt you for more damage whenever you touch them, and toss in a metric fuck ton of more Medusa heads. That's really the only difference. Castlevania hard mode, good time, but I'll play basic Castlevania before I play the hard mode again. Also, I'm gonna move Pokemon Snap up 1. There we go. Ah, Sonic Colors. Okay, this game I had an interesting time with. I think Sonic Colors is great. Just great. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great. I mean, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's just normal. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's great. It's a basic Sonic game. I know a lot of people love Colors, specifically the Wii version, but its hype was built up in my head so much from everyone telling me it's an amazing time. It's one of the best Sonic games out there, that when I got to it, I was a little underwhelmed. So for me personally, it was just great. It was just great. I loved the game, but it was just great in my opinion. That said, I will still play it again before I ever replay SD Gundam Battle Alliance, because I'm a Sonic fan. I love Sonic games. They're a fun time. Though keep in mind, when I say I'm a Sonic fan, I mean I'm a fan of the games and the shows, but I am not a fan to the point of, oh yes, I'm part of the community of Sonic fans. No. They scare the hell out of me. They absolutely scare the hell out of me. I am just a fan of the gameplay and just good old classic have fun feels with it. Haven't played Ultimate, but you want to see the broken mess it is? It's actually not that bad of a broken mess. I played it when Ultimate first came out, and it functioned fine. I didn't have any issues. And again, I was playing the PS4 version, whereas the Switch version was broken. And Mega Man is on this list. And did you ever play Super Nintendo Indiana Jones? Might be playing Change Pace for Castlevania? I have not. I've been meaning to take a look at that, actually. Since you did recommend that to me in DMs one day, I do need to take a look at that. Sonic community is unique, to say the least. Yeah. That's why I'm a fan of the games and the shows, but I will not say I'm a part of the community. I know better than to say that. Ooh, next up, Bloodstained Randomize. This was my first ever randomized run of Bloodstained, and it was a grand time. I will put it in amazing. I'm gonna say it was. You know what? I'm not gonna put it above. I'm gonna put it above Spelunky. It was that good. It was that fun. The journey we had while I was playing through Bloodstained Randomized was a heck of a trip. Because I had already beaten the game normally before, which was a grand time array, but the randomized run was even more fun to me. And the reason I say that is because I knew where everything was, and the openness of it, which was even more open than Aria of Sorrow, the openness of it allowed for very different traversals through the lands, the castle, whatever you want to call it, and there was so much fun we had. And we had a journey to try to find that one spell. We searched high and low for the ability to warp short distances. To the point that whenever we finally found it, after 4 hours of searching on a completely separate stream, it turned me into Roger Rabbit with how my voice was. My voice literally changed into that of Roger Rabbit's. So yeah, it was a good time, and it was satisfying to play through and beat. But yeah, that's Bloodstained Randomized. Good time. Next up, Metroid Dread. I actually want to replay Metroid Dread on stream, because the first time I played through it, the game is amazing. Game is far better than any other Metroid game out there. So yes, it too is going up here, above Spelunky. It is one of the best Metroid games of all time. That said, whenever I streamed it, the stream broke up at one point. I didn't have as high a quality of mic at the time or soundproofing, so I want to revisit at some point. I think what I'm going to do is maybe one day I'll go through all the Metroid games from 1 up to Dread. You know, just to get that done, you know? I mean, it'd be fun. And I think, well, rather than playing Metroid 1, I'd play Zero Mission, because no one wants to go back to play the original NES Metroid anymore. Let's be honest here. Zero Mission is the better version of it. The original one, I love it. I love what it did, but the original Metroid is archaic at this point. But yeah, I won't play through all the Metroid games, so I can go back and replay Metroid Dread, because that game was so good. It was a challenge while also still having a lot of fun to it. It was... For the longest time, Metroid Fusion was my favorite Metroid game. Metroid Dread took that position. It's just that well made. You have to run for a bit. Think should be back for a finish, but if not, hope you had fun with the list. Can't wait for update this when I hit 200. Hell yeah. Oh man. That's right. We're now on the journey to 200 games. Jesus. Remakes are better? Yeah. The remakes of the Metroid games are much better. And Metroid Dread is just perfect. It is the perfect Metroid game and brought a nice conclusion to all the story beats that had been built up in the Metroid games up to that point. I mean, for crying out loud, it literally made it to where the jokes of why can't Metroid crawl come full circle to where, oh yes, Metroid, my favorite character from Metroid, is no longer a joke. It is no longer a joke. Some people may say spoilers, but you know what? It's my tier list. I'm going to talk about the games the way I played through them, so sorry, folks. And yeah, Samus Returns is really good. It's been a while since you played Mega Man Zero. Hope you could find files back from the GBA player. Honestly, I'd recommend playing Mega Man Zero on the Zero ZX Legacy Collection, because it actually controls much better. Because they had the original source files and they just updated them to where it runs much more smoothly. Oh man, my throat. Helltaker. I remember playing through this back when I was on my 1.0. This is a great game. It's a fun time. Very simple. You can beat it in about 30 minutes or less, depending on how good you are with puzzles. And one day, actually, I'm just gonna put this right here for now. One day, I hope that now that I'm in AG with a bunch of people, I might be able to pull in some friends from there to have people voice act the cutscenes that are in that. Because I think that'd be a fun time. So to everyone in AG who might be interested, you know, if you're watching or listening to the spot afterwards, or boss, if you're hearing this as well, what do you think? Let me know. Yeah, Helltaker's a good time. Helltaker's a good time. I'm going to put it about right here. Right here, above Salasa. Above Salasa, because it's a good time. Oh, next up, Among Us. Oh god, the collab was so good. The multi... okay, I'm just gonna put this right here for right now. But the Among Us collab, I actually got invited to that by Gwen. And if it wasn't for Gwen inviting me to that, I never would have gotten the chance to talk to Shu outside of just being in her chat during streams. And from there, you know, it's just things move forward and more forward to the point to where really the Among Us collab right here was the catalyst of me eventually going into joining Amberglow. I kid you not, that was the catalyst. I had a fun time with that, and I know Among Us has become a meme, essentially, and not many people are as into it anymore, but back when it came out, it became a meme. It's still a bit of a meme, and one that's some good tea, and frankly, it's not the best game in the world out there. I do love it for what it was, and it was good for social interaction in a time where social interaction was pretty much gone. Because it came out in 2018, but really only got picked up in 2020 whenever people were looking for things to do with friends because of COVID having hit. And it served really well. But yeah, this this collab right here was a great time. It was a great time. I enjoyed hanging out with everyone. I still remember at one point, whenever we were trying to figure, I think I was the imposter at the point. I think I was an imposter at the point. And so I think me and Cheryl were imposter at the same point. I can't remember, but we popped in and someone had died, and it said, well, it looks like someone dies, and I think we all know who did it. Well, no, someone said that, and then without missing a beat, me and Cheryl both said Gwen did it at the same time. Oh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. It's still a fun multiplayer game to this day. And again, because of this game, I ended up getting into Amberglow eventually because I decided to go ahead and just go for it afterwards. But yes, I gotta say, Among Us though, I'm gonna put it about right here, above Micromages, because it's a fun time. Normally I just put it in okay based on gameplay alone, but because of sentimental value, it's bumped up to great. All right, next up, Super Mario Bros. 3. This goes up into Superior. I'd say it's gonna be below Legends Arceus because, you know, I'll play Legends Arceus before I play Mario Bros. 3 again. Even though I love Super Mario Bros. 3, I can endlessly replay this because Super Mario Bros. 3, my friends, is the best Super Mario Bros. Game. Fight me. And the reason I say this is because I know a lot of people love Galaxy, which the gameplay in that is good. I know a lot of people, but, you know, in the end, some games, they just stand the test of time. And Super Mario Bros. 3, at first I thought, oh, I just have nostalgia goggles for it. I thought that for the longest time that I just had nostalgia goggles for it because I used to play it as a little kid back when I was around 5 years old. Because, you know, I had that NES from the pawn shop, and we got some games from the pawn shop as well, and this was one of them. And I used to play this a lot as a kid. I never beat it as a... Well, no, I did beat it. I never beat it as a kid. I beat it as a teenager when I got it again on the Wii. And then I thought, okay, maybe it's nostalgia goggles. Maybe it's not as good as I remember. I know a lot of people love World, so maybe World is the better one. And I want to go back and play Super Mario Bros. 3. It's not nostalgia goggles. Super Mario Bros. 3 is the better game. It's Super Mario Bros. Game for people who have played Super Mario Bros. Games before because it's not as easy as the other Super Mario Bros. Games. It is actually a bit of a challenge. And with it being a bit of a challenge means that someone like me who's played other Mario Bros. Games, we can appreciate it because after a while, Mario Bros. Games, they seem to feel a little mindless because you're doing the same thing over and over again. But it's not really much of a challenge. Super Mario Bros. 3, though, it's got the same kinds of mechanics, but you actually have to pay attention to what you're doing because all it really takes is one or two mistakes and you're Dungeon rings in that. So it's a really good time, and I actually enjoy it. It's a great time. And I'm still surprised I beat the entire game in one sitting on stream because, no joke, I apparently beat it under par time because apparently par time for people for Super Mario Bros. 3 is they'll beat about 4 to 5 hours. I beat it in around 3? Or was it 6 hours that they usually beat it in? I'm not sure. It's been a while since I checked how long to beat. So, yeah, it's just thing. I love that game. It's just a good time. Just a good time. I need more tea. My throat is really killing me today. There we go. Alright, next up, Operation Tango. The first game I ever did as a collab with Gwen. This, I would say, is an amazing game, but due to my memories with it, of having played through this with Gwen, it's the game that made it to where I was able to become more of a closer friend with Gwen, you know, and since then it's just, Gwen stuck with me through thick and thin as well. Great person, and yeah, Operation Tango, because I have sentimental value attached to it, I love the memories stuck with it. Not stuck with it, the memories I have with it and have with Gwen in that one. This right here actually is going to go right below Spelunky 2. right below Spelunky 2, because I have so many fond memories of playing that game with Gwen. It was a good time, and I really want to play another game with her like that again some point, but it's hard to find games like that. It's really hard to find games like that. There are a few of them, such as, you know, A Way Out and It Takes Two, but I sort of promised another friend that I'm going to play A Way Out with them, and also It Takes Two is more or less a date game, so that'd be a little awkward to ask. I mean, yeah, it'd be a little awkward. Gwen's my good friend, after all. And hey, Mukia, good to see you. Good to see ya. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a great day here. Ayo, what do you mean, Ayo? Ayo. I'm not changing. Oh, you mean on It Takes Two being a date game? Yeah, It Takes Two is 1% a date game. 1% a date game. So it'd be a little awkward for me to ask Gwen because she's my good friend, you know, and I wouldn't want to risk ruining that because people know it's a date game, and I wouldn't want to make it awkward by asking. So, you know, Ask you play It Takes Two. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I can ever ask anyone to play It Takes Two. I'm too nervous to ask anyone to play that. But it's the thing of it's one of those games where I bought it thinking, oh, cool, this could be a fun game, and then I saw it was a date game and went, oh, I don't know if I can play this with anyone. I can't ask her to play. I can't ask her to play A Way Out because I promised A Way Out to someone else. I won't say who because I want it to be a surprise. But yes, it's going to be it. My brain left me because I thought I heard a knock a moment ago, but it was just my imagination. Okay, must have been the wind. But yeah, Operation Tango, great time. Glad I got to play that with Gwen. Ooh, next game, Panzer Paladin. This game right here, I actually got custom art for. Wait, am I here? Someone's shooting off fireworks. Why is someone shooting off fireworks? Hold up. Yeah, it's fireworks. That's weird. Someone's shooting off fireworks. July 4th is long past, my friends. Why are you shooting off fireworks? But yeah, Panzer Paladin right here. I'm just gonna put it right here for a moment being, because Panzer Paladin, as you may have noticed, I got custom, as I stated, I got custom art for it. And no joke, the custom art I got from it was from the same person that did the box art for Panzer Paladin. I wanted to get that art style going because they have a really nice art style to them. And the game itself is a lot of fun. It's sort of like, it's got a little bit of Zelda 2 in the gameplay mechanics, but the main thing is the level select is cool. The Panzer Paladin gameplay is fine. The stages are fine. The art style is really good. The color palette could be better because it does feel a little hurt your eyes after a while. But there were some issues I had with the game, such as there's many parts where you have to do leaps of faith, and there are a couple bosses that aren't coded too well. They are made to be a little extra cheap just for the sake of being cheap. So all in all, Panzer Paladin is going to go into the great game category. It's not an amazing game, but it's a great game, and I'll put it about... you know, I'm going to put it down here at the bottom of great for right now. It's a great game. I love the art style to it, and the artist who did the custom art for me, absolutely amazing person. I want to work with them again on some art at some point. I just need to save up, and that's hard to do. So, especially when you're a variety streamer like me and have to have a bunch of different games to stream, such as my wallet hurting next month with Baldur's Gate 3, Armored Core 6. My wallet is really going to hurt next month. All right. But yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game. It's a great game, actually. Next up, Castlevania Aria of Sorrow Julius mode. And the Julius mode, it's actually going to go into the amazing category. I'd say it goes about right here, above Hollow Knight, but below Wonder Labyrinth. And the reason why is because it is just Aria of Sorrow over again while you're playing as Julius, but it's a little more streamlined. There's not as much to it, though it is just fun to play through, get sort of that power trip because you're going through as Julius Belmont, the Banff of all Belmonts. Pretty much, if everyone thinks that Richter Belmont was the Banff, and he was for the longest time, but Julius stole that thunder because Julius, he's just a cool dude. Richter is a cool guy personality-wise and combat-wise. Julius has personality in combat as well, but Julius is legitimately the strongest Belmont. According to Castlevania lore, he is the strongest Belmont. So it's just a nice power trip going through that with him in Aria of Sorrow. You can already hear the wallet cry. Yeah. Ooh, next up, Sonic Origins. Whenever I first played through it, this goes in Superior. It goes in Superior automatically. Let's see, where do I want to put it? I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it in between Left 4 Dead 2 and Ghostbusters, because Sonic Origins is Sonic 1, CD, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And it's just having them all ported into HD, updated to where it's more accessible for other people to play with widescreen support. They add in an infinite live system and all that stuff, and it's really good. Now, you may be wondering why it's not Sonic Origins Plus right now. That's because I'm going through Sonic Origins Plus with other people right now. I'm going to have a verdict on that later on. I don't know if it's in this list. I don't think it is, because I haven't finished it yet, and it's stuff like, and so on and so forth. But long story short, the original 4 Sonic games, they're a grand time. You can't really go wrong. If people have never played Sonic, the original classic Sonic the Hedgehog games before, Sonic Origins is a perfect place to start. And yeah, just get an idea of where the franchise, got its legs. Unintended. All right, next up, Rogue Legacy 2. This game took the elements of Rogue Legacy 1 and built upon them. It is the better game. And I would say it goes... I'd say it goes... above... above Julius mode. Above Julius mode, but not above Wonder Labyrinth. Rogue Legacy 2, great game. Love the roguelite elements. The upgrade system that was in Rogue Legacy 1 is still there. So pretty much everything you can say about Rogue Legacy 1, you can say about Rogue Legacy 2. Except for that they added more. And I really love the way that... even though it seemed like everything was a 2D action platformer, which it is, still a 2D action platformer, all the characters and stuff were done with 3D models. So everything was really well animated, and the fact that they made 3D look like 2D, that has to be applauded. That's not an easy thing to do. So yeah, Rogue Legacy 2, great time, and I want to thank my buddy Marcus for that again, because he's the one that actually got it for me as a gift. So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been able to play through that on stream. It was good. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I need another sip of my tea. Sorry, folks. I know I'm going to the tea a lot, but my throat is absolutely dying here today. There we go. And yeah, my wallet do be like that. My wallet do be dying. All right. Next up, Catherine Full Body. Goes in Superior. Goes Superior. This is the best Atlas game. Don't at me. This is the best Atlas game. It goes right above Castlevania Bloodlines. Am I feeling okay? Yeah, it's just allergies or something hitting me today. So I've been drinking a lot of tea and stuff throughout the day. No need to worry about that, Mukia, though I appreciate the concern. I've only had a cough drop. That'd be nice, honestly. But all I got is drink. But yeah, Catherine Full Body. I think it's the best Atlas game ever made. It's dirty and gritty. It's got an uncomfortable situation for the main hero. No one is really a good guy. No one but in the end, despite the fantastical elements of it, the characters feel real. They're adults doing adult things and trying to get through their personal problems. So I really love the storytelling in it. And the fact that it's a puzzle platformer, and you know me, I love my puzzle platformers, especially if they're block puzzles. You know, edge, 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 edge. You will never not hear edge in your head after playing Catherine. I tell you that now. But yeah, Catherine Full Body is a good time. They enhanced a lot of stuff from the original Catherine, such as an outline, a lot going around where you can crawl when you're hanging from the edges. Just really good. I don't really want to say any more about it because even though it's a game that I played through recently and it's an older game, I don't like spoiling the ending of this game for anyone. I'm going to be honest, there are multiple endings. I don't like spoiling the ending for anyone because then they might go for ending A, B, C, or D. You know, there's a bunch of endings. I want to say there's 13 to 18 endings in the game. And I love seeing people play through it completely blind, not looking at a guide, and just getting whatever ending comes to them naturally. So yeah, it's a fun time. It's a fun time. And that's also the way I love playing it. That's why I got the quote-unquote True Lovers ending, which I'm not going to say which one that is, but if you saw my playthrough, you know. Resident Evil 3, the remake. It's a good game. It's an amazing game. Not as good as the Resident Evil 2 remake. Not as good as Resident Evil Village. But it's a good time. And I'd say probably Dealing Labyrinth is a little bit better. I did have... You know what? Hollow Knight's better too. So we're going to go... the more I think about it... right there. Resident Evil 3, the remake. It's a good game. Very action heavy, which, you know, that's fun. And the mechanics are nice, but the problem is that some of the mechanics don't work that well. You can tell it was a different team that worked on it within Capcom than the Resident Evil 2 remake team. Because the Resident Evil 2 remake team, after they worked on that, they started working immediately on Resident Evil Village. Whereas another team, the B team, took care of Resident Evil 3's remake. And it was a good game. It was a fun time. It was more streamlined, which I actually think was for the better, because I actually prefer the remake over the original Resident Evil 3. And I know that's a hot take. That's just because the original Resident Evil 3, there's a lot more back and forth with a lot of needless backtracking through large areas than compared to, say, Resident Evil 2 original, Resident Evil 1 original. Nothing was worse about it than Code Veronica, so no, not Resident Evil 3 was better than Code Veronica. But yeah, Resident Evil 3 had a lot of padding added to it. The original one, anyway. So I like the trimming down, but I do think that some of the charm was lost in it too with the remake. That said, it's still a great time. I highly recommend it. I think it's better than the original, just a little bit, just barely. Next up, Luminous Avenger X2. This goes above Luminous Avenger X1, but below the Messenger. Because you see, Luminous Avenger X2, it's essentially, you know, I said Luminous Avenger X was essentially a Mega Man Zero game if you were playing as Harpuya. Well, Luminous Avenger X2 is if you're playing as Harpuya, but with more of Zero's moveset. So you have the movement of Harpuya, but the battle style of Zero, and it just felt so good. It was a lot of fun. I really loved it. They took what was great in Luminous Avenger X with a sense of flow and enhanced it even more so, because instead of it being, oh, you can just go ahead and glide around as fast as you want all the time, stuff like that. No, you earned your speed. You actually earned your speed. So in a sense, it sort of took a lesson from the Sonic the Hedgehog games, where speed is earned, not given, which made it feel even better than the first one. Yeah, Luminous Avenger, AV, like the Avengers, Luminous Avenger X. It's an absolutely amazing time and a lot of fun. Highly recommended. Dead Space, my first time playing through it. It was a great game. It wasn't amazing, but it was a great time. I'd say it belongs right about, you know what? I'm going to say I would play... I'd play Hollow Cure again before I play Dead Space again. Namely the original. Because I haven't played the remake yet. The original Dead Space. It was a fun time. I had my fun with it. But it's not as scary as everyone thinks it is. I honestly think it went on for a little too long. I love the game, and I hoarded the Magnum ammo in it. Like Alex said, 100%. I hoarded the Magnum ammo in it. To where I was just able to decimate the final boss within seconds. And it was a fun time. It's a good game. It's a good game. As I said, I think it went on a little too long, but it did set up a good baseline for the games to come. And I'm looking forward to when I finally get around to Dead Space 2. Ooh, Dark Souls Remastered. This goes up in Superior. This is going to be about... yeah, I'm going to put it right there. Right below Mega Man 01. I love the original Dark Souls. It is my favorite of the Dark Souls trilogy because it's the most well balanced, as well as having the best level design of all the original 3 Dark Souls games. Hold on. Throat. There we go. There we go. And one time when hoarding comes in handy, oh Kev, you have no idea. No joke, I literally hoarded so much Magnum ammo that I had to start selling it off because I had too much of it. But yeah, Dark Souls 1, best level design in terms of the Dark Souls trilogy, and the best balance because when you're going through, it's simple gameplay. It's slower than the other 2 Dark Souls games, but it's got that nice little back and forth. It's a slower game. The parry window in it is perfect where it's at, to where it's not too quick, but it's not too slow. It's that nice in between. And well, yeah, I just like the world in it more. You know, I love the combat of Dark Souls 3. I love the atmosphere of Dark Souls 2, but world and balance of Dark Souls 1 is just far better. You know? And the tea is helping. The tea is helping. But yeah, Dark Souls 1 will forever hold as a nice space in my heart because, let's be honest, when I went through Dark Souls Remastered on stream, I'm one of the few people who will be able to say that they went through the game as a thief class without upgrading their HP. And as you all remember our saying through that, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Next up, Steel Assault. This game was really good. This was given to me by Jaime, who is... I think Jaime is a longtime friend and an amazing person. One of my best buds. And I have to thank for this game because this game was an amazing time. I actually am going to put this right up around... You know what? Yeah, it's better than Deal It in Wonder Labyrinth. It is just a nice throwback and love letter to classic games such as Strider, Castlevania, Mega Man, Contra, specifically Hardcore. So much, as well as a little bit of Bionic Commando in there. It's just a love letter to the games of the 16 and 8-bit era. It's a game that you can get through really quick if you know what you're doing or you've played a lot of those types of games. It just feels so good to play. It goes right here, and I had a great time with it. And I still play through it every once in a while on my own time since I've already played through it on stream. It's just a good time. Also, welcome back, Lucy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, and you have returned. Are you feeding them well? Returned hasn't been eating often here recently, so you better be sure to be feeding them well. Exactly, Alex. I had to kill the enemies quick. I was squishy. Next up, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This game, it's a great game. It's a great game. It's not as good as Aria of Sorrow, and I don't think it's better than some of the other ones on here. I actually think it belongs in the great category. Hot take. Because even though it's what started making the Metroid... I'm just going to put it right here for now. Even though it's what started making the Metroidvania scene popular, In fact, it's what coined the term Metroidvania. And it has withstood the test of time a bit. You can also tell it was their first attempt at this in a solid push. Because the first Metroidvania was technically Simon's Quest, but this is where they first gave it a real true push and a real solid attempt. And it was really good for what it is. It's still good now, but you can definitely see the flaws in it at this point, especially for trying to get the true ending, where you have to complete 200% of the map. So for that, I'd say it goes about right... I'd say it goes about right here, above Helltaker, but I'll play the Castlevania Doom mod before I play Castlevania Symphony of the Night again. It's a good time, highly recommended, but start with Aria of Sorrow if you want to get into Castlevania. Next up, Nightmare of Decay. This right here was a love letter to survival horror games, specifically Resident Evil and Silent Hill, but from the first person. It was a nice indie game, only cost about $5, and yeah, it was a good time. It was a great time. I'd say that it's probably about... I wouldn't say I'd play it over Dead Space again, but it's a good game. It's a good game, a lot of fun, very simple. Had a great moment where I nearly died laughing because they had the Monty Python rabbit in there. And I did slay it with the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. Because remember, 3 is the number of the counting, and the number of the counting shall be 3. No more, nor less. 5 is right out. But yeah, Nightmare of Decay is a fun game, and an absolute love letter to classic survival horror games. I do recommend it. Jupiter Hell. It was okay. I had fun with it. I could play it again. But the best way I can describe it is, think Rogue meets Doom. So it's top-down, turn-based, but the gameplay, the combat in it was very similar to Doom. I really did like it. It's a lot of fun, but it's not one I can see myself returning to over and over and over again. It's one of those things of you pick it up and play every once in a while, just have fun with it, and then you take a breather for a hot minute. So it's an okay game. It's an okay game. Actually, I could probably see myself playing Phasmophobia again. And yeah, I'm gonna put it like that. That's some good tea. All right. Also, let me change our BGM here for a moment because we've been listening to this one for a hot minute. Let's go ahead and go to... Here we are. Hey Soleil, how's it going? Tea, spill the tea, sis. How you doing, Soleil? How you doing? Hope you're doing well tonight. And spill the tea? Well, we got a lot of tea, but I don't want to be spilling. I need it for my throat. My throat is absolutely needing it right now. But yes. Next up on our list is Celeste, a game that I ran through real quick. When I still remember we raided Maya with this, because she had played through it just recently, and we raided Maya, and with the fact that we beat it under 3 hours, she went, "Wait, you beat it how fast?" I love that. And I will say, Celeste, I'm not a fan of the story in it. Mostly because I don't play it for the story. The story is too long-winded for me. It's well written. It's really well made. The story is good. But the story is not why I'm there. I'm there for the platforming, and the platforming is really good. It's a great platformer. It's not a game I could replay endlessly, but it's a fun time. I'd say I'd probably play it again before Dead Space, but not before Hollow Cure. But yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game. A great game, in fact. And I'd say if you could find it on sale, go ahead and give it a shot. And it does have a good story to tell. It does have a good story. But if you're like me and just went into the action platforming, or just platforming in general, I guess, you might want to wait a little bit because, as I said, you'd want to get on sale if you're in just for the platforming, because the story does bog it down a little bit, in my opinion. That's just me. That's just me. I know a lot of people love the story because the story is about overcoming anxieties and stuff like that, which is a good lesson to teach. But for me, I didn't buy it for that, which is why it's not higher up on the list. Pretty good, just playing some Monster Hunter World as you listen to me ranking games. Ah, what monster are you hunting right now, Soleil? I'm curious. All right, next game on the list, Castlevania Rondo of Blood. This right here goes above Bloodstain Randomized. And I say that knowing full well that people go, wait, what? Why? And the reason why is because this is my second favorite Classicvania. Richter Belmont is just an overall badass. He's the first one to have the item crush. The gameplay in Rondo of Blood was just really good. It had nice PC engine style graphics setting with the sprites. The fact that there was actual cutscenes to it with that cool looking sort of late 80s, early 90s anime style to it. It was just really well done. Absolutely loved the game. The stages were difficult but fair. And after having played the butchered port on the SNES, it made me love the original version of Rondo of Blood that much more, because Dracula X could burn in a fire. But yeah, it's a good game, real good game. Anyone who's played the Classicvania entries, the classic Castlevania entries, normally they'll say Rondo of Blood is their top one, with probably. But I'm a weirdo who likes Bloodlines a little bit more. Oh, you're hunting Anjanath now? Nice, Soleil. You need to hunt the Tobi-Kadachi again for armor? Yeah, Tobi-Kadachi gear is really good. And Tobi-Kadachi is best flying squirrel snake. Ooh, next up is Pokewilds. Pokewilds, I'm going to tell you now, I'm putting it in amazing for right now. Because it's not finished, but this is an amazing fan game. I would play this again before playing. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna put it right up here. I will play Pokewilds again before I play Spelunky 2 and stuff again, because I really want to see what happens when they finish it with the final updates, because it's supposed to get multiplayer later, and it's essentially Pokemon meets Minecraft. Those of you who saw my test streams of it, you know, where I was testing the game out while it's still in its early build, which it's still in early builds right now. It's a little bit more updated, but I'm waiting for that multiplayer update to drop. I had a grand time with it. Absolutely loved the game to death. It's just a fun Pokemon game. It's something I wish we could get from the official Pokemon company, but never will. Because Nintendo believes in saying, oh yeah, you only get 1 year to develop these things, yada yada, when really Nintendo needs to give the Pokemon team about 2 or 3 years between games. Let's be real. Shit's a squirrel. Yes, the Tobi-Kadachi is a flying squirrel snake. Why do you think it's so nimble? It's a little squirrely. But yeah, Pokewilds is a great time, and as soon as that multiplayer update drops, I want to pull both Mal and Locke into that. Just because it's going to be a grand time that I can get both of them in there. Next up, Proteus. This was a hidden gem. I'm going to put this right here for right now, but Proteus was a hidden gem. It is made by two of the people who worked. I think it's a two-man team that actually made it, but it's a two-man team who worked on Doom 2016. And they just went and made their own fan game that was very much like the original Doom. It has that same look and feel to it. It's just really well made. I absolutely loved it. If you ever get the chance to play Proteus, I say play it, because it's just classic Doom. It's literally just classic Doom with a little bit more speedier movement. So yeah, it goes into the amazing category, and I will put it right about... You know, I'm going to put it in between Resident Evil 2 Randomized and Resident Evil Village. It's that good. Ooh, Elden Ring. I'm sorry, Dark Souls 1. You've been dethroned. Elden Ring is now my favorite Souls-style game. You remember I said, folks, I love the combat of Dark Souls 3 and the atmosphere of Dark Souls 2, but love the balance and gameplay and level design of Dark Souls 1? Elden Ring took everything I loved from each of those games and mixed it into one. It just did. Made it full proper open world where there was caves to explore as well. It was just so much for me to do. It is the only Souls style game that I 100% cleared on stream. Okay, let me put that into perspective. I 100% cleared Elden Ring on stream. I platinumed that game. I don't do that often. Okay? So, yeah. Elden Ring is by far my favorite Souls-style game. I love Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1 will always have a special place in my heart. But Elden Ring just took everything I loved from Dark Souls 1 and then took the things I love from Dark Souls 2, the atmosphere and sense of scale. This was a combat of Dark Souls 3 that was really cool and swift and just felt good. Bundled all together into this massive open world that I just love to explore. Oh, there's only one thing about Elden Ring that I didn't like, and that's the fact. Okay, there were two things. The stupid archers with the heat-seeking arrows; those can go below themselves. And two, the game did go on for a little too long. I think the capital should have been where it ended, because everything building up to the castle can take you longer than it takes to beat Dark Souls 1. Just the first area of Limgrave, if you're doing everything there, takes about 15 to 20 hours if you're doing everything in it. And Dark Souls 1 only took me about 14 and a half to 15 hours to beat. So I had as much content in the first area of Elden Ring as there was in Dark Souls 1. That should tell you how long that game is. And the fact that I platinumed it means that even though it did go on a little too long, I still wanted more. Okay, that should say something about that game right there. This rabbit is twisted and sick and a gamer. Exactly. Man, good stuff, good stuff. And I hope to eventually play some more Elden Ring on stream for people, but in a special way. I'll get to that when the time comes. And next up, Nier Replicant. This is an amazing game. I'm gonna set it right here for right now, but this Nier Replicant is an amazing game. I once again want to thank Sethyvirus, who is another VTuber, for gifting me this game a while back. And I absolutely loved it, and just, oh my lord. I've always heard good things about the Nier games, but I never really got to play them until Nier Replicant, where I got to sit down and just, my god. The combat of the game, nice and fluid. The world, small but enjoyable. There's enough to explore within that small world. The RPG elements, they're there, but they're not necessary to enjoy the game. And it's just the storyline itself. The story was good. I didn't cry at the story like a lot of other people do, but I thought the story was really well written and was a grand time. Honestly, this is one of the better games I've played. Just one of the best games I've actually played. I won't say, well, it's one of the better games I've played. And one person I actually want to see play through Nier Replicant, I want to see Amalia play through it, because I know she loves a good story and she will absolutely love this game because of its story. Me though, I'm going to put this game about right... I'd probably put it right here, because I'd play through it again before I play through Resident Evil 2 Randomized again. No, I'd play through Resident Evil 2 Randomized again. I'll put it below Proteus. There we go. Because I do a randomizer again. Yeah, Nier Replicant is really good. I've still never played Nier Automata, but I need to after I've played Replicant. Ooh, Tunic. Best indie game of 2022. This game goes up in superior. I will say that this game goes about right here. It's top-down, isometric, Zelda meets Dark Souls meets mystery, because there's just so many mysteries in that game to solve. There's puzzles to get to. Oh, it was just so good. There were so many secrets. It filled that sense of exploration that I had, as well as the fact that it doesn't have a language that you can read until you start finding things. They open up that you can put together a player's manual in the game itself to get the hints as to what you need to do. And even then, a lot of it isn't in English, Japanese, or any other language. It's in a special language made specifically for Tunic. So you're literally going through, and it's that sense of wonder that you had as a kid playing through a game and figuring things out for yourself. That is what makes that game so good. Tunic was the best indie game of 2022. And I wish that the developer of the game many, many more years of success. Absolutely. Ooh, Sonic Frontiers. This game was an absolutely amazing Sonic game. And I have to say, out of all the Sonic games I've played, it belongs up here in Superior. I'll say it even belongs above Sonic Origins, because I still play Sonic Frontiers in my spare time just for fun. No joke. I've done everything in it, but I still play it just for fun. And it's just really well made. It was a proper and the way it was done, it felt like a proper send-off to how the Adventure Saga was. You know, like, now that they've done this, they've got a new way that they're going to start making the games, and they're moving forward. The Boost Saga, done. The Adventure Saga, essentially done. And now they're moving into a new type of thing, which is this... I don't know how to explain it except for a... I don't know, heroic saga, essentially? Because it feels more comic-y in the way that the writing is done. The gameplay feels fluid, smooth. It's just a good time. There's simple puzzles. The open zones are really fun to go through. You can just zoom around, have fun. They have the different little action stages. It's a good way to do it. I can't wait to play some more of that on my off time. Ooh. All right, folks, before we get to the rest of these, I'm going to take a small little break here because I need to get some more tea. I'm going to get, because I just ran out of my drink, and we will be back to finish this in just a moment. So I will catch you all in half a second. Okay, sorry about that taking longer than I thought, folks. I decided to look around a bit to see if there were any cough drops. And you know what? I got victory. I found me some cough drops in the end after all. So, I can actually take one of these. Oh, that's so much better. All right, yeah, it'll definitely help. It'll definitely help. Though, keep in mind, folks, something I learned from Danny, in fact, is don't take more than 3 cough drops a day. Apparently, if you take more than that, it will start causing the opposite effect and actually make your throat hurt worse. Go figure. All right. Okay. But now, my friends, and now I need to start ranking the Mega Man games from our Mega Man-a-thon. That's right. Those of you who were here last year may have remembered that I did a Mega Man-a-thon for Mega Man's 30th anniversary. Or was it 35th? I think it was 35th anniversary. Exactly, Alex. Everything in moderation. Well, I did a full-on 24-hour stream of all the classic mainline Mega Man games. So Mega Man 1 through 11 is right here, and we're going to rank each and every one of them. Mega Man 1... Well, whoops, that's Mega Man 2. I wanted to grab Mega Man 1. Mega Man 1 goes in the great category. It'll be right about... You know what? I'll be replaying Mega Man 1 time and time again, so it's going to go right about here, above Sonic Colors. Great game. You could tell it's the first in the franchise because it does have some, you know, this is the first game type feel to it. So it's a little jank, a little extra slippery, but it was really cool. I enjoyed the game. It was a great time. Mega Man 2. This goes up into the amazing category. I'd say that this one right here is yeah, you know, we'll put it under Pokewilds. Good game. Mega Man 2 is probably the best place to start off if you want to start off with a classic Nintendo Mega Man game. One out of the 8-bit ones, you start with Mega Man 2. It's just really good, very easy to get into. Still got enough of a challenge to it. Still got that Mega Man and Nintendo hard difficulty to it. But it's a lot more fair. You can tell they were able to put a lot more thought and effort into this one. Mega Man 3. It's okay. I'll play it before I play Castlevania Hard Mode again. But Mega Man 3, it introduced the slide, which was great. The base robot masters in it are great. It introduced Rush, which was great. Most of the game is absolutely great. The only reason it's going in okay instead of great, the Doc robots. Those 4 Doc robots were technically 8 because you had to fight 2 in each stage over 4 different stages. Before the Wily Castle stages, it's just padding, and it's not good padding either. It's just it extends a game longer than it needed to be and was really not well thought out. It was thinking of they tried and nah, Mega Man 3 ain't it. It's got a good soundtrack, but Mega Man 3 ain't it for that reason. Mega Man 4. It's a great game. I'd say it's above Mega Man 1 and above Forewarned, but it's not above Fate Extra. Mega Man 4 is a good game. It introduced the Charge Shot, the Charge Buster. Actually, you know what? Introduced the Charge Buster. We're going to put it up into Amazing, at the very bottom of Amazing. Because in that one, again, you got to have the Charge Shot. You got to have the Mega Buster for the first time instead of the Power Buster, which became a staple for the rest of the Mega Man games ever since. It was a good game. There's a lot of fun stuff in there, like Skullman, Dustman. I want to say Brightman was in this one, or was another? Yeah, it was Brightman was in this one. Ringman. There's a lot of Robot Masters you can remember that. Some good stages, good themes. But all in all, you know, it's not the best Mega Man game out there. Obviously, that goes to Mega Man 0 in my opinion. But it is an amazing game. Now, Mega Man 5. More the same. Mega Man 4 and 5 are interchangeable because it's essentially the same feeling between both of them. I did like, you know, some things that were in 5, but it's just oftentimes you forget about 5. Oftentimes you forget about 5. Because it was essentially just 4 with another coat of paint. They changed the way the the Mega Buster charge shot looked. But other than that, it's just Mega Man 4 again. And at that point, it's getting a little, the series is getting a little bit, you know, okay, we've been there, done that. What can we get that's new? Still a fun time, but it's getting to that point with that one. But yes, after that, we now have Mega Man 6. Of all the 8-bit Mega Man games, this is one I say belongs high up on the amazing. I won't say it's better than Mega Man 2, but it's right up next to there. And a lot of people go, wait a minute, why? No one knows about Mega Man 6. No one plays Mega Man 6. And that's because, folks, Mega Man 6 came out the exact same year that Mega Man X did. No one went back to the NES. Mega Man 6, though, did what Mega Man 5 should have done. It innovated on the systems that were already there. You had the Power Buster, you had the Slide, you had the Robot Masters, as well as you have Rush. But now, instead of just having normal Rush, they changed it to where you had these Rush adapters, such as the Flight Armor or the Power Armor, which allowed you to go through different paths in the game, making it to where you could have different ways that you could go through. One way would be faster, another way would, or another way would give you more items to make it to where it's easier to get through, like maybe a few more extra 1-ups or E-tanks. And you actually got to pick and choose, as well as there were, you know, extra mechanics by going into multiple different pathways for different bosses to get enough to gain Beat. Oh right, Beat was actually in Mega Man 5, wasn't he? Beat was the one in Beat was in Mega Man 5. That was the new mechanic, but no one cared about Beat in Mega Man 5 because no one really played Mega Man 5. But yeah, Mega Man 6 innovated a lot, and some of the best mechanics in all of the NES Mega Man games. Only reason I say 2 is slightly better than it is because 2 is the most accessible out of the NES games. Mega Man 7. This game also belongs to the amazing category. I'm gonna put it below Spelunky 2. I'm gonna put it below Operation Tango, in fact. Reason why is Mega Man 7's a good game. Everyone talks about how the sprites are too big and stuff like that. They're saying, oh, it's a bad game, sprites are too big, it looks too cartoony, but the stages and level layout, sorry, the level design and enemy placement were built around the larger sprites. It actually is really good. The only thing that weighs down Mega Man 7 is that final boss fight against Wily Capsule 7. Fuck that fight. Wily Capsule 7 absolutely sucks. No ifs, ands, or buts about. Wily Capsule 7 absolutely sucks. But other than that, the game is really good. It's absolutely amazing, and yeah, I can't wait to play it again on my own time someday. Ooh, next up, Mega Man 8. Mega Man 8, I'm actually going to put above Mega Man 2. And people are going to be saying, wait, you're putting it above Mega Man 2? Yes, the art style has extremely detailed models, sort of like how Mega Man 7 did, just a little bit smaller in size because they addressed that issue that people had with 7. The stages are really well thought out. It's got a bit more challenge than Mega Man 2 did, so it's not as easily accessible, but still a lot of fun because there's a lot of different mechanics in it, sort of like how Mega Man 6 had. And then the bad voice acting. Oh my god, I love it so much. Now, folks, there's bad voice acting, and then there's Mega Man 8 bad voice acting, to where it's so bad it's good. There's a reason why everyone says, we have to get the energy crystals from Dr. Wowie, Mega Man. We have to get it from Dr. Wowie. Everyone loves the bad voice acting in Mega Man 8. It's just so good. It's so bad it's good. I love it so much. But yeah, Mega Man 8 is a good time. It's harder than Mega Man 2, but it's where classic Mega Man found its stride. Or came to a pinnacle on its stride anyway, I guess I should say, for the 8 to 32-bit era. But we're not done yet. Then there's Mega Man 9. This game was really well done. I'm gonna put it above Mega Man 6 but below Mega Man 2, because pretty much it went back to Mega Man 2 mechanics, where all you could do was jump and shoot. No charge shot, no slide. You just make use of your tools as much as you can, including with powers, which I will give it this. Mega Man 9 made to where you want to use your powers more often. They actually gave you reasons to it, made certain elements of different stages easier. I do like that. But in the end, Mega Man 9 had some... To put it as kindly as I can, Mega Man 9 had some bullshit. Namely in the Wily Castle approach. There's one of the stages where there's a pixel perfect jump in the water, where if you do not land this pixel perfect jump, you are hitting spikes. And that doesn't happen just once. It doesn't happen just once. No, it happens not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 goddamn times. Pixel perfect jumps should never be a thing in any action platformer. There should always be a little bit of leeway. If Mega Man 9 had that bit of leeway on those jumps, it would be above Mega Man 2 for me. But because it doesn't, it's below Mega Man 2. It's there for those who love a challenge, of course, but are also willing to put up with a little bit of bullshit, because you can tell it was Inti Create's first time trying to make a classic Mega Man title, because they had done well with Mega Man 0, but they didn't know how to transfer all that to the classic Mega Man saga yet. But they did get there eventually. Case in point, Mega Man 10. Well, okay, there we go. Mega Man 10. I will actually say Mega Man 10 is above Mega Man 2 for me. Mega Man 2, best entry point for people who want to play the NES Mega Man games. Mega Man 10 is it's essentially the difficulty of Mega Man 2. Sorry, it's essentially the same type of thing as Mega Man 2, but with a little more difficulty added to it. A little more difficulty. And a lot of people might say, oh, okay, so why is this not higher than Mega Man 8? Well, because Mega Man 8 had a little bit more extra you could do with it, whereas Mega Man 10 is still just all you can do is jump and shoot. You can't slide, you can't charge your shot. So it's not as good as Mega Man 8 was. But if you love Mega Man 2 and stuff like that, then you're going to enjoy Mega Man 10. It's not as difficult as Mega Man 9, and the stage design isn't as good as Mega Man 9 either, but the challenge and the gameplay, it's better. It's better. It's a lot more fair. And that's why I say that eventually, after Mega Man 9, Inti Creates learned, oh, okay, so this is how we do it to make it a little bit more fair towards people, and I'm glad they did. So yeah, it's a good game. Good game. Mega Man 11, however. Mega Man 11 is the best classic Mega Man game. I will put it about right here, in between Mega Man 03 and Mega Man 04. Because here's the thing. Mega Man 11 took that classic Mega Man formula, gave us back the slide and the charge shot, as well as brought in elements from the Mega Man X games through use of the double gear system. And even added one extra feature that wasn't there before with the double gear system, which is the slowdown gear, allowing you to slow down time and yourself a bit. You can essentially use a whirl and go ahead and run around, get a little bit of leeway in your platforming, though you don't need to use the double gears at all. And the power gear is essentially the full charge shot thing with the Buster on Mega Man X, to where you could essentially really unleash a separate style version of the power-up weapons that you get along the way. So yeah, it's really well made. It's got a fair challenge, good level design, good gameplay, the art style is amazing, the music absolutely amazing in all the Mega Man games. There's no Mega Man game that has bad music. And yeah, Mega Man 11 is just the best of all the classic Mega Man entries. Alright, now Zelda Ancient Dungeon. This right here is a mod, or ROM hack technically, for the original Legend of Zelda. And it's amazing. It's not the best thing in the world, but it is absolutely amazing. I will put it right about... I'll put it right about here, above Monster Hunter Rise. Because what they did was they took the original Legend of Zelda, they hacked it to where it plays like a roguelike. It's literally roguelike Legend of Zelda 1. You go in a dungeon, and you go for, I want to say, 250 floors. You try to survive through all of them. You get different items. You go through it, pick up rupees, hope that you find some healing along the way, because Jesus Christ, that game is difficult. And yeah, it's just a fun time. Just a fun time. Next up, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, randomized. All right, folks. This right here was a great time for us. I had more fun with this than I did Resident Evil 2 randomized, because I turned on even the dungeon entrances are randomized thing, and the amount of shenanigans we had in that playthrough. The amount of shenanigans we had in that playthrough were extraordinary. From the first entrance when we went to Hyrule Castle to where we were where you fall into the well to normally get the first sword from your uncle, and it warped us to a part within Death Mountain. That told me that we were in for a wild ride. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. I love the journey that we get to have together as a streaming community, and it's just a good time. Lots of laughs to be had, lots of tears were shed, and a lot of brain cells, both gained and lost. It was a grand time. Highly recommend a randomizer if you ever get the chance. Ooh, next up, the fan remake of Castlevania II: Simon's Quest. It wasn't amazing, but it was pretty much on par with Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It was great. It was great. I had a lot of fun with it. The person who made the fan remake, they did an absolutely banger job. And they took a game that a lot of people 100% hated, because a lot of people hate the original Castlevania 2: Simon's Quest. They took that game and spent hours or years of their life remaking it from the ground up, to where with a new graphical style, better hint system, a built-in map which was absolutely needed in the original. It's just really good. It is by far one of the best fan games I've ever played, in the sense of the amount of challenges they overcame remaking a game. This was no easy feat, because Castlevania 2: Simon's Quest, the original on the NES, is a really, really bad game. But this fan remake made it fun and enjoyable to where I wanted to play through it a second time afterwards. So yeah, that's really well done. I had a lot of people join in to watch because they were curious as to what was going on there. And I think we all gained a better appreciation for what Simon's Quest wanted to do back then, but couldn't. And what this one dedicated fan made out of what was already there. It was a really good time. And I want to applaud them again for being able to do as well as they did. Ooh, Dead Cells. I remember when we were playing through this. This was a fun time. This game is... it's one that I haven't gone back and played here recently, but it does belong in the amazing category, because Dead Cells itself is a really good game. Now that they've had more updates to it and it's essentially a finished product, it's more fun than when it first came out. Once I beat it a few times, it's thinking of, okay, I don't really know what else to do in it. Haven't really gone back to it again since. But I'd say it's on par with The Messenger in terms of quality. You know what? The Messenger, Luminous Avenger X2, and Dead Cells are all in the same category. There we go. They're all in the same quality of gameplay. If you love roguelikes, go Dead Cells. If you love quick action platforming with a nice sense of flow, you go with Luminous Avenger X2. If you love challenging action platforming gameplay with a sense of flow, you go The Messenger. It's just, all three of these are really good. Ah, yes, my challenge playthrough, Sonic Frontiers, the level 1 hard mode challenge. This was also a great time. You know, I can't say anything that I haven't said before. I will say that, yeah, it was on par with my original Sonic Frontiers playthrough. Even going through it a second time on hard mode and keeping myself at level 1, I still had just as much fun, if not more so. So it's one of those things, I can't really pick between these two which one I liked more. They both were great playthroughs, and the level 1 challenge made it to where I actually had to think on my feet a lot more during the boss fights and such. So if you ever get the chance to play through Sonic Frontiers, play through it normally first, but then try going through it level 1 on hard. I promise you'll find it to be a lot more of a different game at that point. Ah, Sekiro. Sekiro. You're a great game. You're not amazing. You're just great. I'll play you again before I play Cyber Shadow, but honestly, I played Sekiro through twice now, and I still have complaints with it, which is there are some areas of it that are a buggy mess. It's a From Software game, you get used to that, yeah. But it's just thinking of some things in it just didn't mesh well with me. I love the combat system in it. I love how speedy things are, but I don't know, there's just something about it that doesn't mesh with me as much as their other games. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, but it's still a great game. Still a great game. Highly recommended, though I'd recommend it on sale. Ooh, Metroid Prime, the remaster. This also goes up in amazing. Actually, you know what? I'm moving Metroid Dread and Metroid Prime Remaster up to Superior. Metroid Dread, I'm gonna put right above Pokemon Legends. Arceus? I don't know which way you pronounce it. I think it's Arceus, but And I'm gonna put Metroid Prime Remastered right above. Yeah, right above Pokemon Legends. I'm gonna keep these two right next to each other because Metroid Prime, great game. Clearly, the game is absolutely wonderful. The original one, grand. The remaster just brought everything back from the original one that was great and added more to it in terms of quality of life changes, such as multiple different control schemes and just a lot of fun to be had. A graphics overhaul that was almost on par with the graphics overhaul was on par with the remake, but it's just the game was really well made originally, and just all the changes they added to it. And let me tell you, this was the start of Locke and I doing essentially road trip playthroughs together, where we go through and we're just playing through a game, having fun, laughing about, and just having an overall grand time. If it wasn't for that Metroid Prime playthrough, we would not have had the Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom playthroughs the way that we did. Those would have been me running through it solo, probably. So, everyone, if you love those other playthroughs, be sure to say thank you, Metroid Prime, for starting up that type of saga for us on this channel. Because let me tell you, I sure do thank you for starting that up. Alright. Castlevania, Dawn of Sorrow. Isn't it? This goes right above Bloodstained Classic Mode, because I love Aria of Sorrow. Dawn of Sorrow has a lot of things from Aria of Sorrow that are good, as well as some new things that are great too. But there are a few things in Dawn of Sorrow that just weren't that good. Some things in Dawn of Sorrow just weren't as good as Aria of Sorrow. So it's down in the great category. I don't really know how to explain it except for that near the end, it starts feeling a bit more like busy work. And that's never a good sign. That's definitely never a good sign when it starts feeling like busy work. So that's why it's down here. I mean, I love the game, but it's only a great game. Alright, next up, Resident Evil 4, the remake. This is why Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil Village are down in amazing. Resident Evil 4 gets the superior. Where in superior? I think it goes right about here. Because I recently played through this game whenever Resident Evil 4's remake first came out, and I was just blown away by how well they did with it. I know there were some things cut out, but honestly, I didn't realize they were cut out until after the game was done. It just felt proper from beginning to end. It felt like Resident Evil 4, but with more modern controls. So it was really well made. I absolutely love Resident Evil 4, and I hope to one day play through it again on stream, but with a little bit of a different way. Because, you know, just like Resident Evil 2, the remake, had a first-person mod, I want to play through Resident Evil 4, the remake, with a first-person mod. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Though when that'll be made or finished, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Ooh, our Breath of the Wild playthrough immediately goes into Superior. I'm gonna put it right here, below Elden Ring, because I love Breath of the Wild, and me and Locke, we had a grand time going through it for y'all folks. We had a grand time. We absolutely loved it. We had some great moments, some good laughs, and we beat it in record time too. We beat it in, what was it, 20-something hours, where it was either 20-something or 32 hours, where the usual time for people to beat Breath of the Wild is around 50. So Locke and we went through that really fast, despite the fact that I never once fast traveled. Oh man, I've got so many good fond memories of that, and it's just one of those things of, I'm really sad that Breath of the Wild ended. I want to continue with that playthrough. Speaking of wanting to continue that playthrough, you know what, since I'm going to grab Tears of the Kingdom, our most recent playthrough as well, and I'm going to put up here, Tears of the Kingdom, I enjoyed that more than Elden Ring. Mega Man Zero is my favorite game of all time, that's why it's staying at number 1. But Tears of the Kingdom playthrough, that was a magical time. We had so many more jokes that we got out of this than we did Breath of the Wild. Locke and I both were going into it pretty much blind. Locke had a little bit more experience, but there were so many things that were first experiences for both of us doing that, and the shenanigans, the absolute shenanigans we got up to with this one, it was so much fun. I'll probably never have as good of a multiplayer co-op gaming experience on a first-time playthrough. Well, it wasn't. I'll never probably have as much fun on a first-time playthrough of a Zelda game as I did with Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, I think the mechanics of Breath of the Wild are a bit better, but the world of Tears of the Kingdom is far better and is the superior game. But, God, I really wish it didn't have to end. I've been saddened by that ever since, because I keep thinking about the game. I keep thinking about the game and how they could expand and go forward and make a brand, and there's still room for a third game. It's so good, so good. And there's just so much potential for a third game. I won't say any more because I know some people haven't played through it, and I don't want to spoil the ending in case people didn't watch the ending of our VOD series, or our playthrough of it. The VOD will be going up in time. It's still staggered out a few weeks from now, but the VODs are going up every week, so hopefully you all will get to see it sooner than later. Or you can just watch the VOD on Twitch. You know, it's always up on Twitch first. Yeah, man, I wish that series didn't have to end. Speaking of fun games, though, and Zelda, Cadence of Hyrule. This was an amazing time. This right here belongs in amazing, and I'm going to put it right about. I'm going to put it above. I'm going to put above Mega Man ZX, but below Mega Man AM2. Sorry, above Mega Man ZX, but below AM2R. Cadence of Hyrule. It's just a fun, open world, procedurally generated, top-down, classic Zelda rhythm game. That's a lot of words in one way in describing a game, but that's really the best I can. It's got good music. It's got classic Zelda style progression in it. It's got rhythm game gameplay with some fun action. It's just really good. It's just really good. And the best part is, Kev, you say you suck at rhythm games, but the best thing about it is, if needed, you can turn off the rhythm part of it. You can actually play it like a turn-based game where you don't need to go by the rhythm. You can actually just hop around as you want. It's really well made. The fact they add in that feature for people who aren't that good at keeping with a rhythm on rhythm games just makes it more accessible. It's such a good game. Such a good game. I really want more people to play it because it deserves more attention than what it gets. Ooh, next up, Maverick Hunter X, the first Mega Man X game we've played on stream in a while. This right here is the superior way to play Mega Man X. It's the superior way to play Mega Man X. I will definitely play Super Mario Bros. 3 before it, but the fact that Maverick Hunter X is essentially a G Gundam cast reunion, because for the English dub anyway, because you have the voice actor for Domon Kashu voicing X, and then person who voiced Master Asia voicing Sigma. Come on, that's just perfect. On top of the Mega Man X gameplay that's already really solid, and the slight changes to make it different from the original Mega Man X in terms of level design. Oh, there's just something for everybody. It was really well made, and it's a shame not more people have played this version because it's locked to the PSP. All right, next up, we have Spider-Man. And just like Spider-Man, it is amazing. I'm going to put it right about... I'm going to put it right above Proteus, because I'll play Resident Evil 2 again before I play through Spider-Man again. I love this game. Y'all saw me play through it here recently. We had a grand time going through. I became extra snarky whenever I was playing Spider-Man, as you all probably noticed. I kept on coming up with the quips left, right, and center, insulting the enemies, having a good laugh, you know. Such a good story in it too. They actually make you feel really bad for Doc Ock, as well as extra bad for Peter, because, you know, Peter is, even though he's a superhero, in the end, personality-wise, he's just a normal guy. He's just a normal guy when it comes to his personality. He's focused with everything else. So to see him going through hardships and doing what Spider-Man has always done best, overcoming personal trials, it was just good to see. Redfall. I love this game. I love this game. However, it's going to be at the bottom of amazing for me because as much as I love it, it is a buggy mess and needs more optimization. I want to play through this again sometime once it's been completely fixed with some people on multiplayer. Then I might be able to get a different type of opinion on it and might be able to raise it up on the rankings. But for now, it's staying at the you know what, we're going to put it at the top of great, actually. It's going to stay at the top of great because it's a good game. It's a good run-through looter shooter fun time with hunting vampires, you know? I couldn't ask for much more, except for that it be better optimized. All right, another one. Ninja Gaiden Sigma. This game right here is also a great game. It is going to go above Okay, it's going to go above Redfall because no, actually no. This one's going to go into the bottom. No, it's going to go above. It's going to go above Blastmaster Zero. There we go. It's an amazing game because I did love it. I enjoyed playing through it. The way that the gameplay holds up to this day, even though it came out all the way back on the original Xbox with Ninja Gaiden Black, it's a good time. The only thing that really bogs down the original Ninja Gaiden Sigma is the fact that you have to play as Rachel on a few stages, and she just controls so much worse than Ryu Hayabusa does. But other than that, the game is just so much fun. It's got elements of Resident Evil in it. It's got just good old fast Ninja Gaiden style gameplay. It's a fun time. And let me tell you, When we finally get around to Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, which we will, you're going to see how much they improved upon the formula as time went on. Next up, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. This right here is my all-time favorite Zelda game. Even more so than Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild. However, since we're talking about my stream series, not just games, I'm actually going to put this right above Dark Souls but below Breath of the Wild, because the time I got to have hanging out with Locke makes it to where, even though this is my favorite Zelda game of all time, these two games right here, they beat it out. They beat it out just for the companionship that I had along the way. But yeah, I really love Zelda Link's Awakening. I remember playing the original one on a Game Boy Pocket whenever I got my very first Game Boy. It was such a fun time, and it was the first Zelda game I ever beat. So getting to revisit my childhood again on stream with you all, it was a very fun, nostalgic feeling, and the gameplay still holds up. Gameplay still holds up, and the quality of life changes in the Nintendo Switch remake just make it so much better. If you haven't played Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, I highly recommend trying out the Switch version of it. It is by far the best way to play it. Ooh, Cult of the Lamb. This was a great game. I'm going to put it above Redfall because... well, yeah, because I'd probably play it before I replay Redfall again. So I'll probably replay Cult of the Lamb before I replay Redfall. But it's just it's not an amazing game, it's a great game. I love the interactivity with Twitch. And, you know, the gameplay is just solid and fun. Though there are a few things that felt a little weird, like a bit of a pacing issue, such as the boss of the second world being harder than even the final boss, which felt a little weird to me, but It was a fun time. It was a fun time, though. I had a lot of fun with it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I have yet to beat this, but because I still need to beat up with the others to finish this off. But what I played of it, this is a great time. I'm gonna put it right above Cuphead, because I haven't finished it yet. I've been really enjoying my time with it. I need to meet up with Night Wolf and the others so that I can go ahead and finish that game. We just need to all figure out when we can hop back into it again, because it's been a hot minute. And you know how it is whenever it's more than just two people collabing. Schedules are even more hectic than usual and trying to get everything lined up just right. But we do want to finish it. Daemon Ex Machina. I really wanted to continue this game, but it's not good for streaming. Reason being, the characters talk too damn much. And I didn't get a chance to speak really a word at all without talking over the story, and that made me feel a little guilty, but the gameplay was really good. The mechanics are great. The building of your... I'm just gonna call it an armored core. The building of your armored core is really fun. It's a great game. I'd say I'd play it before playing... I'd play it before playing Sonic Colors again. It's a good time. But it's just not good for streaming due to the fact that, you know, when streaming, you need to keep commentary going with your audience. But at the same time, you don't want to overwrite what's being said in the story so that the audience can see what's going on. Yeah, a little hard to do with that game, but it's a really fun time. Ooh, Back for Blood. I need to get Rokuro, Locke, and Gwen all together again to play through this. I absolutely need to play through this. This right here is a superior game to me. It's just below Left 4 Dead 2 because these two are essentially the same game. They're made by the same team. Left 4 Dead 2 is a little bit higher on the list because it's easier to pick up and play with everybody. But I really love Back 4 Blood's mechanics and everything, as well as the card system in it, which was pretty fun to make use of. I really want to play through that again. And who knows, maybe sometime this October I can get the gang back together, continue on to the next act. Final Fantasy 16. All right, this game was on hiatus for a little bit because, you know, was finishing up Tears of the Kingdom, and also I've overloaded the channel with fantasy, so I need to take a little bit of a hiatus. But it's an amazing game. It's an amazing game. I'd say that I'd put it right around. I'd probably play near Replicant before I play Final Fantasy 16 again, but they're equal in stature in terms of how much quality there is. They're really good games, and even though I haven't finished Final Fantasy 16 yet, I already know that I love it. And sooner than later, we'll get back to it and we'll finish that up. But yeah, even if the ending is hot trash, I don't know, it might be a good ending, it might be a bad ending, but even if the ending ends up being hot trash, the journey up to that point has been so much fun so far. It's an amazing game. Escape Simulator. I need to get Sherry to join me on playing this again. This is such a fun time. I'm gonna put it in great. I'm gonna put it about right here. Yeah, right here. Right above SD Gundam Battle Alliance, but below Sonic Colors. Because it's a game that I'm willing to play with other people, but alone, I just can't do it. I just can't play it alone because it's so much more fun with other people. Just multiple heads working together to try to get out of an escape room. So much fun. I really want to play that with Sheru again sometime. Just go through some of the new puzzles. Sheru, if you're listening, hit me up. We should play some more of this. Digimon Survive. I love this game. It's an amazing game. I want to pick it back up again at some point. Only reason I haven't is because, well, last time I streamed it, there was a little bit of a sour taste that was left in my mouth because a certain user had to be, a certain ban-evader had to be rebanned, and they made it, and they left a bad taste in my mouth, which is why I haven't gone back to it yet. But the game itself is really good. It's spectacular. It's amazing. I would say it belongs right about here. Right about here. It's a good time. I want to get back to it. I don't know if I should restart the game or if I should continue from where we left off, but I'll get back to it eventually. East Origin. This is a good game. This game is absolutely great. It's what got me into Ys. Whenever I was watching my buddy Nightwolf play it, I decided to pick it up myself. And ever since then, I love the Ys games. It's a good time. Very good entry point for anyone who's never played an Ys game, because it's sort of like, it's got sort of that actiony feel of the Legend of Zelda games, but with more JRPG to it. Ys. Best way I could describe it is sort of like how I did. It's got that action gameplay of, say, Zelda, where you're going around, you're actually pushing buttons to hack and slash the enemies. But it's got JRPG mechanics because you're still leveling up, having to do quests and stuff to make sure that you're ready for everything. It's really well made. Highly recommend it. And I want to get back to it eventually. I just need to get leveled up enough to get past a major pain in the ass boss. Portal 2. It's the superior Portal game. Come on. It goes right here. Goes right here. Because Portal 2 is a fun time. And y'all saw me play through it with Tim here recently. It is just a great time. We have a fun time. Get some good laughs. Yeah, I'm really glad that Tim reached out to me and we got to play that. Hopefully I'll get to sit down and play through the story of it here soon. But I want to wait and see. On if that's a good idea, because there's some other things coming out that I need to go through first. Don't want to put too many projects on my plate after all. But yeah, I hope. I was gonna say something, but I forgot what it was. Streamer brain, everybody. But yeah, I enjoyed getting to meet and hang out with Tim through this game. Absolute blast getting to play with them, and I can't wait to play through some more stuff with them. Kirby's Dream Land. This game is great. It's great. I'd say it's above Panzer Paladin, but below Anna Lynn, because it is the first game. You can beat it in about 20 or 30 minutes. Good Game Boy game. It started off a franchise that then grew to be even better than what the original was in many different ways. And yeah, gotta appreciate where everything started. Mega Man 2, the Atari demake. This took Mega Man 2 and improved upon the flaws that were there. They took the few things that were wonky and fixed them. Namely, it took a boss fight in the Wily Castles and fixed the fact that, oh yeah, you need Crash Bomber to beat this boss, and you need to use it perfectly without having used any other of it elsewhere. Yeah, no, we're not gonna make it to where it's like that in the Starry remake. No. We're gonna make it to where you can regen energy here by having there being some enemies that can spawn in. Not tough ones, just ones you can blast away with one hit, but still, it'll help save you a headache. And I'm glad they did that. That fixed the main issue I had with Mega Man 2, and I'm absolutely happy that they did. Only Up. This game, it's not a great game, but it's an okay game. I'd say it's a fun time. I will put it... I'll put it right about here. I love the race that I had with the other AG members. You know, Masaki, Chelsea, Mal, Carnelia. We all had a great time playing it and going through. We had a bunch of laughs on that race. And yeah, the game, it functions really well mechanically. It's just a good time. Yeah, it's a rage game, but it's a rage game you can sit back and have fun with. So it's an okay game. It's an okay game. And it's not great by any means, but it's a fun time. I've even found myself playing it off stream just in my own time to have fun. So yeah, it's an okay game. And yes, lots of people get angry with it. Lots of people get angry with it. Also, I'm going to do something. I'm moving Jump King down from meh to... No, I'm actually going to move Pokemon Violet down from meh to bad. Just because it was a buggy, glitchy mess. And the more I think about it, the more I kept saying it here with Jump King, I'm thinking, no, I enjoyed Jump King more than Pokemon Violet. So it goes down to bad. Next, but last but not least, Shotgun King. This is an okay game. It goes in okay as well. I will put it above Castlevania Hard Mode, but not above Pokemon Snap. There, you know what? Like this. Shotgun King is a fun time. You sit back, relax, play some chess with a shotgun, and yeah, it's as silly as you think it is. I'm still surprised I managed to beat it in my first ever stream of it, but you know what? Sometimes that's just the way things go. And yeah, that's our entire list done in order. So, starting from the bottom, we have Mighty Number 9 Trash, because, yes. Then in bad is Pokemon Violet, not because I hate the game. No, I wanted to like the game. I wanted to love it, but it's too much of a buggy, glitchy mess. I'm not a fan of it. It's broken. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be optimized. But it's not going to be because Nintendo says, no, just make new DLC and make the next game. Don't worry about fixing what's with it. So as it is, Pokemon Violet will never really be fixed. It's a shame. Because it had a potential to be really good. But no, it's just there. Because it never will be fixed. And I'm going to be honest, anyone who says that it's an amazing game, they're purely going based off of the Pokemon nostalgia there. I'm sorry. Jump King, meh. It's an alright time, but I won't replay it. Okay, and okay, we have going from bottom to top, Mega Man Battle Network Net Legacy Collection. Wait, where is Xenoblade Chronicles 2? I started... Oh, wait. No, that was before I became a VTuber. Right. Yeah, Kev, just to answer you, Xenoblade, it goes into the amazing category. I don't know which one would be superior for me yet, because I haven't played all three, but it goes into amazing. But yeah, okay, Battle Network Legacy Collection, Jupiter Hell, Only Up, One Finger Death Punch, Phasmophobia, Castlevania Hard Mode, Shotgun King, New Pokemon Snap, Mega Man 3. In great, we have Panzer Paladin, Kirby's Dream Land, Annalyn, Necropolis, Micromages, Among Us, Nightmare Decay, Dead Space, Celeste, Holocure, Solasta, Hell Tanker, Simon's Quest, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Castlevania Simon's Destiny, the Doom mod, Bowser's Fury, New Gundam Breaker Chillin' Build, Rune Factory 5, Meteor Maker, Cuphead, Shredder's Revenge, Battle Operation 2, Battle Operation Code Fairy, Hardcore Mecha, Cyber Shadow, Sekiro, SD Gundam Battle Alliance, Escape Simulator, Sonic Colors Ultimate, Daemon X Machina, East Origin, Mega Man Original, Forewarned, Fate Extra, Bloodstain, Classic Mode. Then we have Castlevania, Dawn of Sorrow, Redfall, Cult of the Lamb. And amazing, we have Mega Man 5, Mega Man 4, Hogwarts Legacy, Blaster Master Zero, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, excuse me, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Splatoon 3, Demio, Luminous Avenger X, Dead Cells, Luminous Avenger X2, The Messenger, Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate, Resident Evil 3, Monster Hunter Rise, Zelda Ancient Dungeon, Mega Man ZX, Cadence of Hyrule, AM2R, Phantom Abyss, Soccer Wars, Hollow Knight, Castlevania Ariosaurus Julius Mode, Rogue Legacy 2, D-Lit and Wonder Labyrinth, Steel Assault, Resident Evil Village, Final Fantasy 16, Near Replicant, Proteus, Spider-Man, PS4, Resident Evil 2 Randomized, Zelda, A Link to the Past Randomized, Mega Man 7, Operation Tango, Spelunky 2, Spelunky 2 Co-op, and then we have Mega Man 6, Mega Man 9, Mega Man 2, then Mega Man 2 the Atari D-Make, Mega Man 10, Mega Man 8, Digimon Survive, Pokewilds, Bloodstain Ritual of the Night Randomized, Castlevania Rondo of Blood, and finally in Superior, on my favorite playthroughs I've ever done on this channel, Maverick Hunter X, Super Mario Bros. 3, Portal 2, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Metroid Prime, Remastered, Metroid Dread, Sea of Thieves, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, Tunic, Sonic Origins, Sonic Frontiers Level 1 Hard Mode, Sonic Frontiers Blind Playthrough, Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead 2, Mega Man 02, Mega Man 04, Mega Man 11, Mega Man 03, Castlevania Bloodlines, Catherine Full Body, Resident Evil 4 the Remake, Castlevania Aria Sorrow Randomized, Castlevania Aria Sorrow Vanilla, Dark Souls Remastered, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Switch version, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Elden Ring, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and, of course, my all-time favorite game, Mega Man 0. Yep, that's my list, folks. I'm going to say it has been amazing playing through 100 different games on stream for everybody. We had more than just those 100 games here because we had ones that had to be dropped, put on hiatus, or are endlessly revisitable and such. But that's all the games, folks. That's all the games we played on stream thus far since I started my VTubing journey, ranked in order. So yeah, I guess with that, we will wrap up this stream by me going, thank you all so much for joining me for this ranking here. I appreciate every last one of you hanging out with me, not only for this, but for joining me on any of these playthroughs that I did. I love doing all of these. I even loved playing through Mighty Number 9 for you all. Even though it was torture for me playing that game, I love playing it for you all. I still remember that game right there. I only played it on stream because I made a promise with my buddy Kage, who is a mod here, that if he played through it and beat the game, I'd play through it and beat the game on stream as well. You know what? He kept his in the bargain, I kept mine in the bargain. So, that's why I got played. Fond memories, fond memories. But yeah, man, so many games, and so many more to come. But yeah, now for the road to 200, and I'm going to end this by saying thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please consider that follow button, helps quite a bit. If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider that like button, helps a lot more than you know. And remember, whether you got here at the beginning, middle, or end, you got here exactly when you needed to. So, thank you all so much for hanging out, and I will catch you next time. Have a great day, folks.